family, social issues, education, religion, government, or national security. Brannon brings the issues of the day into clear focus through the lens of a Judeo-Christian worldview. And now, here is your host, Brannon Howse.
And welcome to the broadcast. On this January 8th, 2026, we're going to have on with us Sidney Powell here, first guest out of the chute. Sidney Powell, she was one of the keynote speakers at our fall conference in October. And of course, she and I have been reporting on the voter fraud for a long time. Clips of us were going viral earlier this week because people were saying Sidney was telling you these things about Venezuela and these different companies, voting machines and whatnot, and the code a long time ago. And so she's coming back tonight to give us her thoughts on, will Maduro sing? Will he go ahead and reveal information about voter machines and software, et cetera, et cetera? We'll talk with Sidney Powell. We'll also ask her about the Insurrection Act. We're going to talk to her about the upcoming fall elections, her concerns about the fact we haven't gotten rid of these machines, and what is President Trump likely to do. Sidney Powell first up, then Annie Cyrus with all the breaking news out of Iran. I'll say it correctly. All the breaking news out of Iran. Lots of video footage to bring you as there are untold numbers in the streets across Iran. They are burning police cars. They are even killing some of the leaders of these different police departments and brigades. You're going to see a lot of footage tonight. And we will be following this into Friday and maybe into the weekend. We're all waiting to see what's going to happen. There may be some big events coming this weekend that may require us to be in the studio live over the weekend. If so, we'll be here with Annie and our other guest. We're also waiting to see what Israel is going to do and what President Trump has to say about all this. Big news night just related to Iran alone. And then after we have Sidney Powell and Annie Cyrus, we're going to have on with us Colonel Rob Maness. He is going to join us tonight, give us his thoughts on what's going on there, as well as with Russia, Ukraine, Venezuela, the tankers that we're seizing, tied back to Russia and all that. And then let's get a quick update from Dr. Bashima on the norovirus. Dr. Bashima on that and how to stop these viruses from taking hold in your body. She's going to tell us some things tonight about that. And vertigo. I'll tell you about what happened to me on New Year's Day, 5 a.m. in the morning. Melissa now has it. So we'll talk with her about that. So we got a lot to get to tonight. So let's get right to it. I hope you'll tweet, text, email, Facebook, Getter, Truth Social. Let everybody know we're here. Our website, I think, has been finally put back together. Right, Logan? Thank you to all of you for your patience. We had some serious, I think it's spiritual attacks, but we had some serious things happening for like about 3 weeks now, right, Logan? And pretty much 3 weeks. And now it's finally put back together. That's cost a fortune, but it's back together. It's actually running faster and better. And the company we went to is even better. And shocker, we could actually get a hold of the customer support people. We have like 3 of them now on speed dial, don't we? The last company, I think they actually deleted our service ticket. So we're done with them. Thank you for all your patience, guys, as we put it all back together and get caught up now. Now we've got to get caught up by putting all the different clips. How are we doing on getting caught up with all past programs being put up so they can watch them again or for the first time, Logan? We have a lot up, but a lot more to go. So hang in there, guys. We're getting caught back up and everything's getting put back to normal. All right. Hey, thank you for your support because, of course, when we have these kind of interruptions and we have to bring in our guys, it costs a lot of money to put it all back together, not to mention our normal costs. But then we have to have emergency sessions where they're rebuilding stuff is extremely expensive. IT stuff is, not to mention television stuff is expensive. So thank you for your support through our foundation, one way, worldviewfoundation.com, worldviewfoundation.com. Please consider going to worldviewtube.com/sponsors, worldviewtube.com/sponsors. There it is. The page worked. That's awesome. worldviewtube.com/sponsors. The Swish for Life. That's the product you swish for about 3 minutes and you get glutathione in your system within 90 seconds, they say. I swish with it, glutathione. It detoxes your cells, and there are toxins everywhere. Even when you're trying to avoid them, they're everywhere. I want to talk about microplastics in your average bottle of water, plastic bottle of water tonight with Dr. Bashima. We'll talk about that. This also, the glutathione studies show may remove mercury from your brain, helping prevent Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's. Worldviewwater.net. I have the filter in my kitchen sink. I have one on my shower. This takes out a lot of those things that you do not want to be drinking, including other people's pharmaceuticals. Don't forget about Bella Grace. Of course, I take it each and every day, the elixir. And of course, the Bella Melt is doing really, really well. All natural, stimulates your body's natural GLP-1. These are very healthy, all natural little caramels. Looking to see, Dolly always hears that, thinks I'm giving her a treat. No, it's not a treat. All natural little caramels, and you can take about 3 of these a day. Some do more. And you can lose weight with them because it's stimulating your natural GLP-1 versus the negative when you go to the needle. This is the all-natural way with all kinds of other benefits. So you can get this now at melissahousebg.com. These are selling like crazy. Again, melissahousebg.com, of course, the elixir with the 3 powerful ingredients. And then, of course, I take the the Gatatana, the phytoplankton each and every day, melissahousegpa.com or worldviewtube.com/sponsors. So those are just 3 of the products. Of course, don't forget about our worldviewtube.com/vault. You have so many great programs in there that are so cutting edge, and they don't really go out of date because, like, there's 11 1 hours on Hamas. We have them on the Nazi regime, globalism, Marxism, communism. You have all my books as ebooks. Marxianity, that's over 300 pages. I just got something told to me in my ear. My brand new book, Christian Zionism, just under 100 pages. I wrote that one over the holiday based on the 4 hours of TV. Why I'm a Christian Zionist is now in the vault. My book on Hamas that just came out last year, end of last year. My book based on the documentary Siege is in there. My book, Religious Trojan Horse, The Coming Religious Right, Grave Influence. My book from 1995, Reclaiming a Nation at Risk. My book based on my documentary Sabotage. My book from 1993, Cradle to College and Educational Abduction. All of those books, all these TV shows, radio shows, all of that is there. You can join for as little as $7.99 a month. Please consider joining. This is a major way to support us. Oh, and look at that. Why I'm a Christian Zionist. Now available in the vault. Just simply go to library and then ebooks. And in fact, Logan will probably show you how to do it. There you go. You go to the vault, go to library, you go down to ebooks, and boom, there it is. Why I'm a Christian Zionist. About 85 pages. And all my other books and things are there as well. That's brand new. The other book I have coming out soon that I'm working on is it's called Transhumanism is Eugenics. Transhumanism is Eugenics. I'm working on that book now. That's based on a TV series I did in the research a few years ago. And I'm bringing that into a book that'll be put in the vault. You don't need to buy it. It'll be in the vault. My series on the book of Revelation, that's going to be, 300-400 pages. I worked on that 8, 10, 12-hour days, 8 to 12-hour days over the Christmas break on that commentary that's based on the 1.5-year study I did, verse by verse, on the book of Revelation. I put in some mammoth hours on that one. My wife's like, you are working some really long hours on Christmas break. I'm like, I am getting this done. I don't care how many hours a day I got to put in. I'm getting this done, so it's done, and I can move on to the next project. So I did. I was determined. I thought, if I don't get this done, I'm going to be really disappointed in myself because I have a checklist of things I wanted to get done during the break. I'm going to get it done because I'm a checklist guy. I love to have a checklist and then check things off my checklist. And this was coming off the checklist. So that's done. My editor, Jill, has it, and she's doing the grammatical editing and the page layout. So my entire commentary on the book of Revelation, that entire commentary should be out probably before the end of, I'm guessing before the end of January. That new book should be out. And again, it'll be a commentary and study guide. You do not need to buy it if you're a Vault member. It'll automatically be in there for you as part of your membership. Don't you love that? We're constantly adding new content to the Vault. So please consider going and joining radio shows, TV shows, ebooks, audiobooks, documentaries. And over the Christmas break, I filmed a lot on the final part, part 3, the final part of Brainwashed America, part 3. That will be for Vault members only. That we're still working on. That will be out, we hope, before the end of the first quarter of the new year. The documentary, part 3, the final part, Brainwashed America. And we have some other big announcements coming soon about the Vault. New additions, exciting additions. The price is not going up, but we're going to keep adding content and great additions and keeping the price as long as we can right where it's at. I mean, if they debase the currency where $7.99 is the equivalent of a penny, then I'll have to raise the price. But my goal is to keep everything where it is right now. So please join worldviewtube.com/vault, worldviewtube.com/vault. Let's get started. Joining me now is Sidney Powell. Well, she was trying to tell us this stuff years ago, and some people didn't want to listen. Others wanted to mock. Well, we got the receipts. She's got the receipts. We have the video clips. And it does involve our voting system here in America, voting machines, and then what was going on in Venezuela and other places. And she also is going to talk about what's going on in Minnesota and what needs to be done. And President Trump saying that he may have to use the Insurrection Act. We'll get all this from Sidney Powell. She's also a former special prosecutor, author in her own right. You'll find her books on Amazon and also at her website, which we'll tell you about. She joins us. By the way, she was just with us in October for our national conference right here in the Mid-South. Great to have you with us tonight. Sidney, welcome back and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you and all the viewers.
Thank you. All right.
Let's started off with a bang, didn't it?
Boy, didn't it? I mean, we're only on day 8 of the new year, and I'm already getting tired from all the news. Where and we're being told we may have to be prepared to go back on the air this weekend because of big events that may be coming down in Iran. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, what a year it's already started out to be. Let's go to a clip. You and I are going viral this week. I don't know if you know this or not, but a few clips of us are going viral this week. Because you were saying this stuff several years ago on multiple programs, including right here. Here's one of the clips. I want to play it and then have you respond. Here we go.
Multiple patents here by different people, but one of them is for a patent from 2006 from the Defense Department. Why would the Defense Department want to patent software that allows them to flip elections?
Yes, that's a good question, isn't it?
Do you know which division inside the Department of Defense? Is it one of our intelligence divisions inside the DoD?
No, at one point, there are actually 2 patents that are key. One in 2005 for dynamic auditing of elections that allows them to monitor it real time. And that was done with the National Institute of Health, which I don't exactly understand. At least that's what it says. And of course, these patents even admittedly say they will develop uses beyond, what they say in the patents themselves. So I think there's a lot of room there for people to use them however they want to be used. But then the one that allows them to calculate an algorithm to come out with a predetermined result of an election is the one from 2006. And I think that was the Defense Department. And then it was given to a university in New Jersey that is an international think shop, apparently.
What does that mean?
A lot of foreign students are at that university. Oh, and here's another interesting tidbit. A year before the election of 2020, Dominion Voting Systems assigned all 19 of its patents for election technology to the Hong Kong Shanghai Bank. And then there was an infusion of over 400 million, we believe, to State Street Capital, which owns Dominion now.
Okay, let's go back over that.
All right, let's stop right there.
The bank in Hong Kong ties back to Communist China.
So there you go. There's more of that, but that gets us started. So tell us how this all connects, if you think, related to Venezuela, because I think in another clip, I think you're talking about some of that. What do you think's going on here? And do you think Maduro, that now he's in federal custody, Do you think he's going to cut a deal? Do you think he's going to start talking? What are your thoughts on that?
I think Mr. Maduro will definitely try to cut a deal. If he doesn't, he's even dumber than he looks. So it would be to his best interest to start spilling the beans on all the people his money has corrupted and how all this worked from the inside, and tag everybody that had any involvement in it. And that would enable us to clean up a lot of mess.
Do you believe that Venezuela is involved in the voter frauds that was going on?
Well, I mean, we had information from the beginning that Smartmatic Corporation originally started in Venezuela and created the first algorithms and got the first voting machines that were actually lottery machines from Oliveri in Italy, and converted them into voting machines. And I recall hearing that after the 2020 election, there was a huge warehouse of voting machines in Venezuela that suddenly caught fire. And we had a witness who had given us an affidavit that the voting machines that Smartmatic had way back then were, and I'm talking back in the beginning, the first voting machines were from the Italian lottery company, and that they had been altered to manage the elections for Hugo Chavez to make sure that he would win without a doubt. And there's a video of a Smartmatic executive talking about how they changed a million votes. They claim it was by accident and say the other party was at fault, but the votes in Venezuela were counted on Smartmatic technology. And then Smartmatic came into the United States by buying Sequoia voting machines and company. And that lasted until Carolyn Maloney, a congressperson at the time, sent a letter to the Secretary of the Treasury jumping up and down about foreign ownership, essentially, of America's voting machines and the voting process. And then that caused different changes, and the company morphed again, and that seems to be what they always do. They create another company under a different name, and they're still using the same people and the same process.
You know, we used to produce the Lou Dobbs show here right before he passed away. And here's a clip. I don't know what year this is. I think it might be the year 2000. It's an old clip.
I think it's 2006 when he was on CNN.
Yes.
Yes, because that's about when Carolyn Maloney wrote the letter that stirred everything up.
Well, here it is. Here's a little clip.
A firm owned by Venezuela could be allowed to take over one of this country's top voting machine firms. Venezuela, of course, led by Hugo Chavez, working to change the views of most South American countries, moved to the left. Critics of the deal say our nation's very democracy is now for sale, without anyone doing a thing about it. Kitty Pilgrim reports.
The use of some 19,000 electronic voting machines in the city of Chicago and Cook County primary on March 21st of this year is now under intense scrutiny. The U.S. company that makes the machines, Sequoia, was bought in 2005 by Smartmatic, a private company primarily owned by Venezuelan businessmen. When Chicago had problems with the machines, a dozen Venezuelan employees were there to help with the election. Chicago officials are outraged.
I think that American elections ought to be run by American companies and ought to be run by American citizens, not Venezuelan nationals.
Smartmatic is technically based in Boca Raton, Florida, but the president of the company, Jack Blaine, testified to the Chicago City Council. Fewer than a dozen Smartmatic employees work in Florida. The majority of the workers are based in Venezuela. Watchdog groups question why U.S. voting machines would be under the control of citizens of another country, especially a country whose own election process is highly suspect.
We believe this is a national security issue. There is no way that companies belonging to non-U.S. corporations should have access to our elections.
The Treasury Department is supposed to monitor sales of U.S. companies to overseas investors where there is a question of national security, such as in the Dubai ports deal, the so-called CFIUS review process. Some in Congress are demanding an investigation.
In the case of Smartmatic, there are a number of unanswered questions. That's why I wrote to the Secretary of the Treasury and asked them to review the ownership. It's offshore, it's murky, no one seems to know who owns it. Certainly our government should know.
A potential risk to the democratic process.
And I'll just stop it right there. And then, Sidney, we have a letter that we started talking about, I think, in 2021, maybe 2022. This is a letter I found in my research, December 10th, 2020, from the office of Congressman Bill Posey of Florida. He wrote the letter to the Inspector General of the CIA and the CIA director. And he said, quote, my understanding is the origins of Smartmatic began in Venezuela under the regime of Hugo Chavez. The election software was used for the presidential elections that President Hugo Chavez and Nicolas Maduro won. In each of those elections, opposition parties claimed that fraud occurred. In 2018, a 2013 U.S. Department of State country report in Venezuela states in the executive summary that, quote, authorities announced that Nicolas Maduro had won the presidency, April 14, 2013, by a 1.49% margin amid allegations of pre- and post-election fraud based on a number of irregularities, including government interference, the use of state resources by the ruling party, and voter manipulation, end quote. The congressman then says, furthermore, in a recent sworn affidavit filed with a Georgia election lawsuit, the key witness describes firsthand accounts of how Hugo Chavez asked Smartmatic to design a new election system for Venezuela and was, quote, was most insistent that Smartmatic designed the system in a way that the system could change the vote of each voter without being detected, in quote. He goes on to conclude that he would like to see an investigation done to find out the CIA's role involving these election companies. We know, and we have shown also the document there, an article from the Washington Times, May 1984, Jesse Helms, talking about the CIA fooling around with elections in El Salvador, providing 400 precinct organizers, a model press operation, technical advice, and funds for the, quote, computer voter registration system that disenfranchised 20% of the voters for the first time around, end quote. Jesse Helms warning the CIA is fooling around with elections. El Salvador. It seems like that, we talked about this in the summer of 2020, a color revolution. We were warning about that in the summer of 2020 due to some documents we were seeing. Do you think the CIA was involved? The DOD? We talked about that in our interview years ago. Do you think they practiced this overseas and then brought it home?
I don't think it could have happened without CIA and Department of Defense knowledge. I don't know, whether it was rogue people. I'm sure they'll try to claim that, or whether it was part of their operation, particularly after Mr. Brennan was involved. I would think it might have been part of their operation. But yes, they had to have known. We could tell almost instantly on the night of the election in 2020 that something was very, very wrong. And mathematicians who are experts with PhDs from Stanford and all other places, MIT, were telling me that they could essentially see that an algorithm was running. You can't have an injection of hundreds of thousands of votes for one person at one time. And even the machines couldn't operate at the speeds they were claiming. The counting machines couldn't operate at the speeds they were claiming that number of votes could be counted. It was preposterous. There was scads of evidence of what was going on. And we had the firsthand witness that was quoted by that congressman that was saying that he was right there seeing how it all worked and hearing what was being told to Hugo Chavez and what he was demanding. Secret change of voting that no one could ever detect.
Well, won't it be interesting to see if if Maduro starts singing, if he starts cutting deals, giving information? I don't know what kind of deals the government or President Trump would cut with him. I don't know. We're talking about, hey, you give us enough information, maybe you do a little time, and you and your wife can go off somewhere and live your life and have some pardons or whatever. Surely he has enough.
Never be pardoned. He should
never
be pardoned.
He'll never
he
be
should
pardoned.
never be pardoned, and he should certainly have to serve prison time.
Do you think he
But where
could
he
cut a,
serves it can make a big difference.
say that last sentence?
Where he serves it could make a huge difference.
Okay. So he could cut some kind of deal where his life is a little more comfortable or some time is shaved off. Do you think he has enough information to do that kind of deal personally? Do you think he
I have no doubt he has enough information. Whether he's willing to give it up, whether he can live long enough to give it up is a whole nother issue. Because he was running the Trinidad gangs that were infiltrating the United States and probably other countries. He's wreaked all kinds of havoc through his human trafficking operations and drug operations and the voting operations. I mean, it's mind blowing.
What do you make of his body language? The thumbs up in the pictures. Good evening. Have a good evening. Happy New Year. We got all these videos and pictures we've shown. What do you make of that? Some of the guys that are with the DEA, one guy pats him on the shoulder when he gets up out of the van, like, good job. I mean, it just seems the body language of the DEA agents and him seem rather comfortable. Is there any thought in your mind that he cut a deal to be captured because he was maybe more afraid of some of the people in his own government or these cartels or his own vice president? Or do you think he truly was just snatched and had nothing to say or do about it?
Well, as I understand it, he was trying to get in a safe room and close the door when he was snatched.
Okay.
So I don't think it was a deal he made or was expecting to happen. So I don't know. It could be Tom Sawyer whistling past the graveyard full of bravado, or it could be he is in the process of cutting a deal.
So what do you think of the stories floating around that Elon Musk helped to disrupt some of this, which is why President Trump was able to win in 2024? Any truth to that?
I don't know. I've heard it from more than one source, but I don't know whether it's the same story repeating itself or different sources.
Are you concerned
I think it's possible.
Are you concerned about the midterms coming up this year and voter fraud and where that's all going to go?
I'm concerned about anything that uses voting machines in any part of the process. We have to have paper ballots, hand counted, and they should be individual in some way. Not that we need to know the name of the person who votes, but that we can't have repeat votes. I mean, think of it like a dollar bill that has a serial number, and there's only $1 with that serial number. Something like that has got to happen to make our voting secure. And they have to be hand counted.
Didn't President Trump this week, I think, spoke to the Republicans, and I think he kind of warned them that if we don't do something about the voting machines, we're going to have a problem. Did he not?
I believe he did. Everybody knows it. The people that won't deal with it are the ones that are benefiting from it and lining their pockets with money from God knows where. I'm still astounded at the worth of certain Congress people who have only been in office a few years, not to mention those who have been in office for a long time, like Nancy Pelosi.
Logan, I don't know if you can see when this was put out. Peter Berniger just put out today, President Trump to sign an executive order before the midterm election, eliminating mail-in ballots, voting machines, clarifying President Trump is going to do it, the executive order to ban voting machines and absentee mail-in ballots, with rare exceptions. This is just a start. Hold on, Toto, as the full tornado is coming. I'm going to lead. Here's from President Trump. I don't know if this is today, Logan, if you can help me out here in the control room, or this is something in the past. I'm going to lead a movement to get rid of mail-in ballots. And also, while we're at it, highly inaccurate, very expensive, and seriously controversial voting machines, which cost 10 times more than accurate and sophisticated watermark paper, which is faster and leaves no doubt at the end of the evening as to who won and who lost the election. We are now the only country in the world that uses mail-in voting. We're now the only country in the world that uses mail-in voting. All others gave it up because of the massive voter fraud encountered. We will begin this effort, which will be strongly opposed by Democrats because they cheat at levels never before, by signing an executive order to help bring honesty to the 2026 midterm elections. Remember, the states are merely an agent for the federal government in counting and tabulating the votes. They must do what the federal government, as represented by the President of the United States, tells them for the good of our country to do with their horrible radical left policies like open borders, men playing in women's sports, transgender and woke for everyone, and so much more. Democrats virtually unelectable without using this completely disproven mail-in scam. Elections can never be honest with mail-in ballots. Voting and everybody, in particular the Democrats, know this. I feel like I've read this before. So it's from August 18th.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, I feel like I'd read that before. August 18th, Logan's telling me. But it sounds like President Trump may be preparing an executive order to this effect.
That would be the first step. It would be even better if Congress would pass legislation to that effect. You know, they say they can't do anything about it, but that's false. They ushered in the computerized voting systems through the Help America Vote Act passed by Congress. They can usher those same systems out by a similar act.
It's almost like some of the Republicans don't care, which makes you wonder again about the uniparty. Why would they?
Oh yeah, it's. I have no doubt it's a uniparty. I figured out that when I wrote "License to Lie: Exposing Corruption in the Department of Justice" and saw President Bush name certain people as prosecutors, and then Obama promotes them all.
Let's go to. So we'll see what happens. Wow, but you must have your email box filling up with your own videos from a few years ago. I mean, right? People emailing you. I mean, you've been vindicated, have you not? Not that you needed to be vindicated, but you have been.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of emails and texts of people saying you've been vindicated. And I just want the truth. Whatever the truth is, that's what I want. That's what I've always wanted, because we can't solve the problem until we know exactly what it is.
Yeah. Let's have you speak to this in closing here. President Trump aboard Air Force One the other day. Here we go.
I'm allowed to use the Insurrection Act.
Let me back that up and boost the volume. I'm allowed to use the Insurrection Act, he says. Here we go.
I'm allowed to use the Insurrection Act. In fact, that was on Stephanopoulos today, his Sloppodopoulos show. They asked sloppy Chris Christie about the Insurrection Act. He said, well, you're talking about the Insurrection Act. He's got the absolute right to use that. And he said a couple of things. He said 50% of the presidents that served in office have used the Insurrection Act. And the Insurrection Act, according to all of them, said it can't even be challenged. I don't have to go there yet because I'm winning on appeal. You know, you're right. We're losing with radical left judges, generally, radical left judges, and we're winning on appeal. I'm allowed.
Okay, now I don't know when that was done, when this video clip was.
I think it was just a couple of days ago.
I think it was too, from what I'm reading. But he could use this to deal with Minnesota, for instance. Can he not?
He could. It's much broader than people realize, and he certainly could use it and probably should use it even right now.
I mean, I have a clip here. I played it on radio at 1 o'clock Central. I mean, listen to this. This is coming out of Congress. Listen to this, please. Here we go.
Chair recognizes Ms. Luna.
Thank you, Chairman Comer.
Okay, it's going to spin, but it'll get back on track.
Honorable Robbins, based on your record before your committee, when did Governor Walz first become aware of widespread fraud in Minnesota social service programs?
I would assume that he has been aware of it since he ran for office for governor in 2018.
By 2017, DHS investigators warned CCAP fraud could exceed 50%. What was that information elevated to the governor's office?
Yes, there was an OLA report.
Thank you, ma'am. By 2020, state officials knew Feeding Our Future invoices were fraudulent. We know that payments continued to the AG's knowledge. Did they continue to the governor's knowledge as well?
Yes.
Attorney General Ellison agreed on tape to fight Minnesota's own Department of Human and Health Services in exchange for Somali political and financial support. In your personal opinion, do you believe it is a possibility that Governor Walz also made that personal deal, or that he at least knew about the Attorney General's agreement?
I don't know.
Okay. I don't want to rehash what you...
Okay, so I guess she's making a criminal referral against Ellison, the Attorney General, and Governor Walz. We're hearing this is going on in California, Ohio. If this isn't fixed now in this Trump term, I don't think it'll ever get fixed. And of course, my concern is if the Democrats take over the House and the Senate, he gets impeached, this gets buried, and we just become a third world, banana republic. And this raping financially of the American people and the enriching of the elite class continues. Thoughts on this?
Yes, I think there need to be a lot of indictments between now and even June or July. A whole lot of indictments, and Ellison and Walz should probably be among them. I can't imagine with the evidence I'm hearing that they have now that they should be indicted within weeks.
Are you shocked at the level? I mean, name your book. You got a book. What's the book called? The book called again?
Yeah, Licensed to Lie: Exposing Corruption in the Department of Justice. No, I'm not shocked by any of this. If you pay attention at all, you can see that it's been happening for decades. The Democrats have just been as corrupt as they could be, and plenty of Republicans joined with them.
We could almost eliminate the entire federal income tax just if we eliminated the fraud and the waste. I mean,
that's right. Yeah.
Basically, we pay taxes. We pay taxes so they can take our money and then launder it through one scam after another. But, you talk about affordable, not being able to afford a house, a car, send your kid to college, all this could be fixed if the American people would just stop paying federal income taxes by getting rid of the waste and the fraud, shrinking the size of government. President Trump's talking about $600 billion in tariffs. Okay. And people say, well, that is just going to be tacked onto the price of the product and be more expensive. I would rather pay more for a product and know that I'm buying a product I'm paying more for because I'm paying a tariff versus a federal income tax, and the money's all being laundered for crime and corruption and debasing my currency. I mean, I would rather do that than continue this process because this surely isn't working.
The fraud has to be stopped. It's been absolutely blatant, and it should be very easy to prove those cases. And the Minnesota U.S. Attorney's Office or offices, I can't remember whether there's one or more, should be jumping through themselves to get people indicted and charged and arrested and jailed and tried and convicted and sent to prison.
And then finally, ICE. We saw the shooting in Minnesota yesterday. It looked like it was a justifiable shot. Unfortunately, the lady died. But this is what's going on with elected officials, encouraging behavior out there in the streets and seeming to stir up the chaos.
That's why I think the Insurrection Act should be invoked immediately if it takes that to do it, and shut all that down. And the U.S. attorneys also need to start charging and prosecuting people for obstruction of justice. That lady was in the process of obstructing justice amid trying to assault the officer with her car, and other people were too. And the obstructionists should be arrested just like the illegal aliens are being.
Well said. Give your website. It should be on the screen there, but give your website again, please.
SidneyPowell.com and DefendingTheRepublic.org.
What will they find there?
Defending the Republic has a ton of information about everything from the COVID vax, which we were very vocal in encouraging people not to take, and are in the process of trying to get back pay for military members now and have them reinstated and all of that. We've been working behind the scenes to do that for quite a while. And a lot of information on everything that's going on now.
SidneyPowell.com and DefendingTheRepublic.org.
.org. Yes.
.org. Excellent.
Yes.
Great to see
there
you.
There are also a lot of my old videos there too.
Wow. Yeah, go find them because it's amazing what she was telling us, folks. And now we're finding out more. And hopefully we will find out more from Maduro if he's smart enough to start singing, which he should. Happy New Year. Thanks for being with us. And we had a great response to your keynote address at our fall Worldview weekend. So thank you for being here for part of that.
It was my pleasure. It was a great event. Super people, very informative.
Yeah, well, you helped make it
invited back.
Yeah, of course you will. And you helped make it informative. So thank you for that. Thank your husband also for allowing us to have you for that weekend. And look forward to talking to you more in 2026.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. Sidney Powell checking in. SidneyPowell.com and DefendTheRepublic.org. Great interview as always. We'll be right back.
News is moving faster than ever, and so are we. Worldview Tube brings you 24/7 live stream coverage and now real-time alerts when it matters most. Once you have the Worldview Tube app installed, exit the app and navigate your way to Settings. In Settings, locate the tab labeled Notifications. Select the Notifications tab. Scroll down until you locate the Worldview Tube app icon. Select the tab, and here you can turn on and customize your notification experience for the Worldview Tube app. News doesn't wait, and neither should you. Turn on push notifications to stay informed. Every headline, as it happens.
Join me now is Annie Cyrus. Boy, she's from Iran. You guys know that. She speaks Farsi. She does a lot of translation. This is in her wheelhouse. We're glad she's on our team. That's for sure. My. We had a lot of videos to show at 1 o'clock Central today for radio/television. But tonight, the videos are just pouring in. She's gone through hundreds of them, about 500 plus videos she's watched now. Take a look at this picture right here on the screen. Annie, welcome back. Thanks for being with us. Tell me about this picture.
Thank you for having me back. Okay, on the left, to your audience, on the left of your screen, what you see burn is a morality police temporary detention kiosk. I think that's how you said kiosk. Kiosk. Mm-hmm. They are burning every single one of these in every city to avoid the morality police or riot police to be able to hold everybody they detain until buses come and pick them up. On the right side, if you can zoom in, I don't know if you can, on the right side with the bluish light, that is an entrance of a mosque.
That's what I thought.
Yes, and all the cars in front of the mosque and the mosque itself was set on fire. Whoa. I shouldn't be this happy, but I am so proud of my people. Oh, yes, that is a mosque. That is they are burned. You name it, they have burned it today. Mosques, seminaries, police department. In Tehran, there is a square called Basij, which I explained on your show. It's the big umbrella of all the other police under it. They burned that square down with the statue and the flag and the banners. All of it is gone. Any symbol of Khomeini, Qasem Soleimani, they were all on fire today, being last nighttime in Iran. There are so many videos and pictures. You just see the flames. They're burning all the riot. With this email, I also send you a video. You see 2 riot trucks on fire.
Okay, we'll pull that down. We'll go to that. Why have they not rolled out the tanks yet? I'm kind of a little shocked at that, actually.
Because, okay, this is where it gets very exciting. In order to roll out the tanks, they have to force the military. Remember, the military of Iran is separated from IRGC. The number of military members who have, how do you say it in English? Defected?
Defected, yeah.
They can't get a single general to order the release of tanks.
So apparently the military, if they're not on the side of the people, they're now afraid of the people.
Yes, they are. And I think majority of them are on the side of people. 2 things. Number one, remember on the call to action from Prince Pahlavi and Mother Queen, they both said, if you do stand down, we will set you free. If you don't, we'll find you and you will be punished. They are seeing what I am seeing, and they are not going to pay the price for this regime. They're not. And I want to draw a parallel. Those who remember 1979, the last stand was when the military put down their weapons, hands up, said we're neutral. They didn't pick a side. They just said we're neutral. We're almost there in Iran today in 2026. They can't get the generals to release those tanks. And as far as the riot big trucks, again, their people have found a way to flip them over and burn them down.
What are you hearing as far as the supreme leader? We heard he might be flying to Moscow. You told us at 1 o'clock it might be going to India, Iraq.
So let's talk about the Moscow idea people are putting out. I think Times has started it. He will not be going to Moscow. A few reasons. I actually released a Substack a few weeks ago, and I went over the entire history of Russia and Iran way back in the time. Khamenei knows very well that Russia is not going to protect him. Russia only uses leaders of Iran when it's to its benefit, or any other country for that matter. As a good friend of mine who knows way more about Venezuela than me said, how do you think Maduro was how do you think he easily surrendered? Was it the fear of our military, or was it the call he got from Putin and said, I made a deal, I'm taking my hands off you? Khamenei knows that. He's not going to go to Moscow. Now, he's not going to run anytime soon. If, and that's a very big if he chooses to run, first location I would look for him is in Iraq. Remember, his people are the majority of Iraqi parliament today. That's where he will still be legitimized and be protected heavily. For any reason, considering our Delta forces arrived in Erbil, Iraq yesterday morning, he may not even do that knowing we already have boots on the ground in Iraq. Then India will be the second option. Reason, again, Shia population to protect him. Secondly, the original supreme leader of Iran, Khomeini, was an Indian man who hijacked Iran, right? He still has plenty of great supporters who will give safe havens to Khamenei. So that's my pretty well-educated.
So if you had to guess, what do you think happens in the next 48 to 72 hours?
I can give you a much more accurate answer by tomorrow, 1 p.m. But the reason is the call to action for unity chants and everything you're seeing happening was out by Press Pahlavi for 2 nights, Thursday and Friday. So Friday, tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, they're going to come back to streets, people. But if we continue staying out of it the way we are today, within the next 72 hours, there is a very good chance that majority of police stations, morality stations, besiege stations have been taken over by people of Iran.
Amazing. Let's go to this video. We got a lot of video. Let's go to this one. Here we go. Tell me what's going on here, Annie.
Oh, you see the crowd? Those are the riot police trucks. It's shadowed. It's hard to see, but you see when it passes by, they have flipped over as many riot trucks as they can. And the video is literally encouraging people, don't worry, we're not in danger, come out, we're defusing the riot police. So that's where it is.
And most of these are young students, aren't they? Young people.
Absolutely. Just like 2022, based on human rights sources, the majority of crowd are between 16 and 31. That's the crowd right now.
What is the what are the older folks thinking right now? Good for you guys, go do it, or no?
We have had videos of older folks apologizing to our young kids on the streets for what they didn't do in '79, encouraging them, don't make a mistake we made, take our country back.
Wow.
We had some of the older, well, I would say not older, but somewhat of my generation, 40 to 50, who are joining them, not on the protest, but they're joining by not opening their businesses. They're helping with collapsing the economy for the regime. Mm-hmm. They are still on like a Grand Bazaar of Tehran. So that's what they are doing. They're playing their role by showing up at their stores, keeping it closed, and just pretty much a strike.
Okay, here's
that's
the video.
What that generation
tell us if this video is real or not. Logan, play it. What is that?
Yes, that is real. There's a chant of death to dictator, and then she says, I am not afraid of you. Come kill me. You killed me 48 years ago. I'm not afraid of you.
Wow.
Yes.
Tell me about this one. Here we go. What's that all about?
That is one of the police department. I told you they're setting police departments on fire. That's one of the buildings of police department. That is literally next to the mosque picture we just showed.
Oh, wow.
If you play it again, I'll point out the mosque head for you to see. Okay, let's play it. Look where the smoke is. You see the green tomb up there? That is the top of the mosque right there. Where the smoke clears, you see a little bit of like a round top.
Yep.
I know you have an English word. This is the side video of the first picture we put up.
Okay.
And the banner also across. So there's a bridge on that street. There's a bridge that you don't cross the street, you go up the bridge and then pass to the other side. The whole banner, which had Khomeini and Khamenei's face on it, is also on fire.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to our next video. You've sent us a ton of these. Great work, by the way.
Thank you.
You're exhausted, I'm sure, emotionally as well. Here's the next one. Here we go.
Oh, that is the banner of Qasem Soleimani. This banner went up a long time ago. This was the banner with Qasem Soleimani and a message from Khamenei that the revenge is mandatory. Remember, we broke that on your show 23, I think?
Yep.
That there's a fatwa that we come for you until blood drips from your sleeves. That is the banner. It was torn and burned. I think Iranian people are taking back all the fatwas on American people.
Do you think President Trump is aware of these videos, or you think his?
Yes, he is.
He is aware of these?
He is, because he put out a message saying, I am watching your bravery, people of Iran.
Okay, here's our next one.
That is my hometown.
Where?
The last
Go back.
video.
Which one?
Okay.
Right
This
there?
one. That is my hometown. My hometown, that's where I grew up. And
Wow.
they showed up in numbers. It's a very small, well, it just became a province of its own. But where I grew up, it was a pretty small city. But people showed up in numbers. And I should say this, on every video, the chants are unified. There is no distraction. It starts with death to Khamenei. Long live the king. This is the last battle. Pahlavi will return. Every single video from every single city, I should mention 335 cities were out on the streets at night of Thursday, Iran time. 335 cities were out on the streets. Oh, there you go. Can we pause that? Can we go back to where it zooms in on the flag? Right there. That is the Pahlavi flag. Another thing we saw on many of the videos are people are, as you know, yesterday they were taking down the Islamic Republic flags. Today they're putting Pahlavi flags up. Now, I should be very specific. The flag in general is the original flag of Iran. There was a tweak on the symbol in the middle. Even the sword, even the lion are original Iranian flag. But the sun behind the lion is the symbol of the Pahlavi dynasty. I don't know why your audience would care about all of that.
Let's go to one I've got here, Logan. Here we go. What's this, Annie?
This is two different areas in Tehran. Chants of long live the king, death to dictator. They are dated this morning, which is nighttime in Tehran. Tehran had the biggest turnout, of course, it is Tehran. And these are the people who didn't come out. They're chanting from their apartments and rooftops. Death to dictator.
What percentage of the country is interested in Sharia and Islam?
7%.
So 93% are not for this.
Yes, but I do need to break the 93%. Out of that 93%, a good 20% are of Muslim culture, meaning they want to continue doing their prayer and fasting, but they don't mind if you go and drink your beer.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sharam's father.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say.
Exactly.
Here's a picture that's more of that area burning that she was talking about.
Yes, that is the bridge. That the banner is burning. It even has Khatami's picture on it, has some of the supposedly Islamic martyrs' faces on it. The one next to the fire is Khamenei. The one close to the tree is Raisi, the president who died of a helicopter crash.
Yep.
That is the person. But they're burning everything Islam down. All of it.
Let's see, what else do we got here? Here we go.
My face is way too excited, isn't it?
No, I think you have every right to be excited. Are you kidding? You've been waiting since '79 for this. Here we go.
See, there you go. Another Pahlavi flag waving. If you go back, when it zooms in on the guy, there you go. The guy who's standing on top of that thing, he's waving the Pahlavi. Yeah, and the chant is "Long live Pahlavi," not the king anymore. Long live Pahlavi.
And now they've cut the phone lines, they've turned off the internet. Most of this is getting out through Starlink, Elon Musk, and how else?
And also an app. Again, there was an app that was put out by Iran International. It was announced by Crown Prince Pahlavi himself. He said, install it. Anyone in Iran who installed that app can, one, make phone calls locally to each other using Bluetooth connection. Also, using their Bluetooth, they can upload their videos. That's why most of the videos you see are coming either from Radio Farda, which is Tomorrow Radio, or Iran International. They both have access to that app. So people don't upload the video to a server. They put it inside that app, local server, and these two networks are pulling them through their own internet.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's see if I can.
But I know you have also been a fan of Iran International, but they have done such an amazing job in the last 12 days. Regardless of threats, their family members taken by the regime, they have not given up. They're on air 24/7. I'm actually on my left ear. I'm listening to Iran International through their live stream as I talk to you. They've been so great.
Trying to bring up the next one here. I'm having a little bit of trouble here all of a sudden. I don't know why. Videos were coming up just fine. Now they're not. I have no idea why.
That's right. If you have your own videos, we can run those.
Well, Logan, you got some,
and I
right?
can translate if needed.
No idea why those aren't coming up. Logan, you have more? Okay. All of a sudden, my video's not working. I downloaded them and everything.
That is strange.
That's your hometown. You showed that one. Did you download any of her videos, Logan?
I believe so, because we were
sent
running
me a bunch that were with a file. I downloaded.
It's the same file that I sent for earlier for my show. So if they downloaded it for my show, they should. Oh, never mind. It's a different machine that Thomas uses for my show.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Here, I got one I want to show. Look at this.
Another police car burning down. Wait, what is? There was a writing on the other car burning. I did not see it, but. Those bikes you see are the riot police.
Are they really?
They are, yes. There are a bunch of videos you see riot police. They abandon their everything and just run. They run. Few areas they overcome all the riot police.
What's the national TV doing? I guess they've cut power to a lot of places. So is it
no! Today they were running Tucker Carlson.
Wait a minute, Logan and you just told me that at the same time.
Yeah.
Seriously, they were running Tucker Carlson?
Yes, the interview of Tucker Carlson with forget the name of the guy. Remember the one they did the interview how Israel basically runs the world and they're behind all the color revolutions. That's what they were playing with subtitle in Farsi, because now propaganda is what's happening in Iran is Bibi and Trump doing it. This is not people. Everybody on the street is American or they were paid by Americans. They're Mossad, they're Israelis, they're Jews. So, yes, the propaganda machine of Tucker has reached its way to the regime of Iran.
We're now hearing that the crowd's moving toward the IRGC Central Command. Here we go.
Yep, there you go.
So that's what's running in Iran. Oh, my.
Yeah, yes.
Does Tucker Carlson, is he smart enough to feel like a fool right now or not?
No, he's got too much money to care for being a fool or smart right now. He's looking at his bank account and those zeros and he's enjoying it.
Do you believe this guy still has a following? I mean, when this is all said and done, I guess a percentage of morons will follow him still, right?
Of course, there are plenty. There are plenty of Americans who do not respect freedom. They don't want liberties. We know that. I mean, there are leftists out there all day long.
But who think so-called Republicans in the grassroots following him?
Well, what do you expect? You got America's mayor endorsing Islamist Marxist group right after the sentence of saying, I can't believe New York City elected an Islamic socialist. I mean, level of hypocrisy is skyrocketing in the Republican Party.
So here is the, I guess, the crowd moving toward one of the IRGC command centers. Here we go. I don't know if you know anything about that. Man, that's a big crowd.
That is a very big crowd. And I was hoping, was there a banner at the beginning of it?
Let me look again.
Because I think this is the one in Mashhad, but I'm not sure. By the way, the chant is Long Live the King.
Long live the king.
Long live the king is the chant. There were few of the IRGC. I think this is the one in Mashhad, which it's important because, again, it is the most religious city. More Pahlavi flags are being flown by the people. And whenever you see the flag, the chants are either Pahlavi is coming back or Long live the king or King Reza Pahlavi. Can I explain something because it confused people? When Iranians say Crown Prince Pahlavi or when they say King Pahlavi versus King Reza Pahlavi, I know it all sounds the same, but the current name of King Pahlavi said by Iranian inside is them promoting Crown Prince Pahlavi to their king. They're not talking about, whenever they talk about the late Shah, they just say long live the king. That's the saying. So if you hear King, that was a gas station they burned down. I can't believe I didn't send you the video of a bunch of a day when Islamic Republic people went to some of the most, below poverty line neighborhood and started giving them some bags of rice. It was so amazing. They tore them open and started throwing them back at the regime saying, we're not for sale. They're hoping to gain some people's silence by giving them food, and you just see rain of rice thrown at people. They rejected the rice.
Other than us and maybe some other conservative.
There you go.
There's the rice.
Those are the rice bags. Yes.
Good job, Logan. Thank you,
Logan.
Other than us and maybe a few other conservative networks, how many national, international networks out of America are covering this like we are?
Like we are?
Yeah.
You're the only one. Like we are, or you're the only one? Between your radio, your Brown House Live, and my show, we're the only ones. There are few websites, not networks, that are putting more accurate information. CPAC is still lying, saying this is over economy. People are starving.
CPAC is saying that?
Yes, I made a comment on one of their articles. I said, either don't report. If you do the truth. This is not over poverty. This is not over economy. This is not over dollar. No, this is people being done. It was 2 days ago, I think, was when I saw their post on Facebook with their article, and I corrected them. I correct them as much as I can, but you can imagine I'm almost out of fingers and out of time a day to correct everyone. But no, and again, shout out to Brianna Morello on the morning show on InfoWar, who had me on yesterday, and she basically gave me open invitation, any updates whenever you need to come back. But it was interesting because I was looking at Rumble this morning, Brannon, and when you go on their editor pick for all the live stream, not a single stream about Iran is being promoted to homepage by Rumble. Not a single one.
Tell me about that flag. Is that the one we're talking about?
That is the Pahlavi flag. Yes. You see the sun shining from behind the lion?
Mm-hmm.
That is where it became the Pahlavi flag. Yes. The lion and the sword has been there for a long time. But Pahlavi dynasty added the sun because honestly, when Reza Shah Pahlavi, the first Shah, toppled Qajar dynasty, it was really taking Iranians out of the darkness of Islam and giving them light again. So that symbol it meant what Reza Pahlavi did, regardless of who wants to. We're talking about the grandfather, the first one, who was a military general of Qajar dynasty. He really, again, looks like his grandson might be doing the same thing for Iranians, repeating history, setting them free from Islam. But that is whenever you see the sun behind it, that's the Pahlavi flag. If there's no sun behind it, then it's the original Iranian flag.
So where do you think?
And yet there were no Arabic writing on our flag either. There was no Allah, there was no Akbar, there was no Muhammad, there was no Jihad, there was no Shahada, none of them. There was nothing on it. It was just a lion and the sword.
This is moving so fast.
It is. Actually, I just like it's what.
There's now talking about 1 million.
It's almost
protesters.
morning.
They're talking about 1 million protesters in the streets of Iran.
That is what Tehran by itself had 1 million. No, it's millions, easily millions. No, that's a conservative number to say. Tehran by itself, there were 52 areas in Tehran out. That easily covers the first million, if not more. And then you had, as I said, 334 other areas out. Definitely more than 1 million. And that was the first night. I'm extremely looking forward to 10:30 tomorrow morning, because that's when the next step is going to happen.
And we are getting word right now that the initial reports are the Russian Orshnik IRBM missile struck the Satri gas field near Lviv tonight. They're 70 kilometers, would that be, from the border with Poland, the EU, and NATO. So,
ooh. What is Putin doing?
Well, he's probably taking some revenge on targeting him with drones at his private residence last week.
The world's burning down, isn't it?
It is. It is. I'm glad I got my satellite phone and freeze-dried food and other things, because this is going to be a big year.
Yes, absolutely. And I actually posted it earlier today on my page, and I said, history is being made. And I don't mean just in Iran. And again, whatever happens in Iran will have an impact, worldwide impact. But history is being made in many places, and we got to be very careful. Are we on the right side of history? Not taking things personal. Don't turn it into emotional decisions. For us Christians, we need to open our Bibles, because this is it. There will be a lot more that will happen, and we need to make sure we are on the right side of this history.
I agree. Tell me about this footage, Logan, Annie.
برای انتقام خون معترضان ایران و مردم غیور نور و ملکشاهی و همه مردم ایران انشالله.
There you go. You got him.
You got him. Who just bit the dust there?
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
Who just bit the dust there?
That was, okay, so I need to mention something very important. The person who's talking is not just an average protester. He is part of the opposition inside Iran that are from Luristan of Iran. That's important. I'll tell you why. The person who was just bit the dust, as you said, is one of the generals or heads, higher than general of, yes, go ahead.
Higher than a general?
I don't think we have that rank, because IRGC is not a military, so they have, they imagine a right-hand man.
Look at that. He got him in the first shot. I mean, it was pretty close, so how could you miss? But, man, the blood splatter, he got him in the first shot.
The reason I mention who he is, the shooter, these guys are trained. I've been saying for last few days on your show that don't worry, when the time comes, they'll be armed. We do have opposition that are trained for today, and they do have weapons. Remember, before the first son of Shah was assassinated, well, I should say suicided, in Paris, he made his way to Iran through Kurdistan. And someone got excited and released the videos, but he was around the Kurds and Lurs that you hear in this video, the guy who's talking, he was coordinating with them to try to start a, coup d'etat, revolution, whatever we want to call it. We couldn't call it a coup d'etat because they're not official military. They're just the opposition. So we have them. We got the Kurds, we have the Turks, we have the Lurs, which are all Iranians, but they are actual trained militia. They're not jihadists. I need to be very clear. They're not jihadists. They're not trying to split Iran. They're not trying to bring Islam to Iran. They are Iranians within their own tribes who have been training for many years for the day they're called to take out the generals, the right-hand mans, and the heads of IRGC.
Wow. Now, here are the police headquarters in Mashhad, Annie?
Mashhad.
Here we go.
Yes. That was you know how you said they're heading to IRGC headquarters?
Yes.
It was after they burned down that police department that the crowd started moving toward IRGC headquarters. This was right before that. 4 police departments were pretty much not just set on fire, they burned down to the ground. Like some of the crowd stood by, watched it burn. There are some pictures and videos. You just see the sky is filled with smoke. Bigger buildings are burning down.
I don't see the regime coming back from this. Do you?
They are not coming back from this. No. Now, I should say, there is one day for them to buy a couple extra months for them. Tonight, as we go to bed, your phone starts notifying you that missiles are coming at Israel. If the regime starts a fight with Israel, things are going to get very complicated for protesters. Therefore, they will buy, as I said, buy time. There is no coming back. They're done.
Whoa, let's stop right there. So if my phone starts going off with the red app alert that I have, the missiles or whatever's going into Israel from Iran, that is going to complicate things to one degree for the protesters because they're what? Going to need to be careful where they're at because of the response by Israel, so they have to be careful. And of course, Israel, is that why? Why not?
Israel is way too precise for people.
That's what I thought too.
No.
That's exactly what I was thinking. They're too precise. No. But so why would they need to be careful?
Because then the regime is going to drop bombs on Iranian people, blaming Israel.
Okay.
That's why.
It's false flag.
They will kill their own protesters saying, it's a war, go home. Israel is dropping bomb on residential areas, go home. So people will have no choice but to go home, not because they're worried Israel is going to kill them, because they know for a fact the regime is going to drop bombs on them.
Here, I guess they have lynched a police officer?
He's a Basiji. He's not a police officer. He's a Basiji. He was stabbed 3 times, I want to say. Well, there was another one who was stabbed 5 times and died. This guy survived.
That guy survived?
Yes. Yeah, these people don't die. Trust me. The morality police of where I grew up. Go ahead, Ash. He was attacked on the street once by 4 men, stabbed 37 times. And as I speak to you, he's still alive.
Wow, because I just read he was lynched, but maybe that's a false report.
I don't know what lynched means.
They hung him.
Oh, no. That's a little over-exaggeration. No. Today, what they've been doing, because Basij is shooting at them, by the way, the reason I know is the pants, the military pants looking only are the Basijis. The police has actual uniform. IRGC, morality police has actual uniform. No, one of them, who was way earlier today, was stabbed. A lot of protesters are carrying knives with them. So when they started shooting at people, some of them who were close enough to stab did. One of them who was stabbed 5 times was reported that they reported it themselves that he was martyred in cause of Islam, but this guy didn't. There was no hanging either.
Okay, yeah, because I'm getting several reports that guy was lynched, but that's just what I'm reading.
No, unfortunately, some of the reports, especially if you're following X, they tend to be just a little bit super excited. So they add a bit of salt and pepper when they report, just a little bit.
They add a little bit of salt and pepper, okay.
Just a little bit. But as I know there were some mocked hanging where people put made up mullahs and hung them with a message on top saying, get ready for this scene. People are announcing that if they catch imams or mullahs, they will hang them. They have announced that. They did it through an actual kind of a PR video. Mm-hmm. But people have not as of right now yet.
So when are you making your first trip back to Iran?
That's a very good question. I have been actually thinking about that. I'm like, do I go immediately?
No,
do I
no,
go
no,
for-
no, 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 no. You don't go immediately. Are you kidding? No, you don't even think about that.
Well, but that's the thing. The most important part is that part. And this is going to sound a little selfish, I guess, but they're going to need people like me who are well trained and, weapons. We don't have enough well-trained Iranians.
Well, I've lost Michael Reagan. I've lost Phil Haney. I've lost a lot of guys. I don't need to lose Annie. So part of that question was because I knew you were thinking about going back, but I don't want you to go back. You need to stay here, be a voice, reach the world with the message for them.
No, Brandon, I am not going back. I was asked this and I addressed it on a video clip. America is always home. My heart beats for Iran, for its ocean, for the street I grew up in, and my people, always. But America is home. And you know me, I'm a good friend. I don't forget favors, and I still owe a lot more to America than I have paid back. And we have a lot more fight to fight here. No, I'm not going back. But I will have to go to help.
But that needs to happen when we can be sure that you're able to come back.
Of course. Well, immediately is after the transitional government. No, let me be very direct. After Reza Pahlavi and his team have taken the full control of transitional government in Iran, that is my immediate. After that, I will need to be there to help with certain things that I can't talk about yet, but hopefully one day soon I will. But then after that, I will come back. And of course, I'm going to make regular visits to just, Iranian holidays. I'll probably head over for a couple of weeks. But no, America is always home. I can't imagine.
Would there be something to have you reporting from Iran? Joining us tonight from Iran. Wow.
I will report from all the delicious food and the wonderful oceans and the mountains and deserts, and I will show you all of it. But I will come back because.
Wait a minute. Has he taken refuge with the governor of California?
Oh my God, that is hilarious. That is good. That's a good one. Well, Newsom might need soon to take refuge with him.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
Just saying. But that is fairly accurate because majority of pro-Islamic regime Iranians are located in California, to be fair. You'll find most of them there. And most of their family members, the Ayatollah's family members, are in mainly LA, Orange County, in California. That's where they're at. So it would make sense that, I'm so excited and exhausted at the same time. Did I tell you that there are confirmed reports that Ghalibaf and Pezeshkian is the current president. They have reached out trying to seek asylum approval for some of their family members to Germany and France as of this morning. I don't have confirmation, approved, denied, whatever the case, but that has happened, that they're trying to get ahead of. I mean, I know I can tell you exactly what they put in their application, which is these people are going to kill our families for what we did and all that. So they're trying to get asylum for their family members.
All right, you're going to keep following.
Remember, people, France, they're trying to go to France, right where the Khomeini who started this was given home in exile.
liveuptofreedom.com, liveuptofreedom.substack.com. Annie Cyrus, we're going to keep covering it. We may be on the air this weekend as well. I want you to go to a brand new website, melissahouseclean.com. Annie, tell us about this brand new website we have here, melissahouseclean.com, Melissa House, H-O-W-S-E, melissahouseclean.com. Melissa loves the Norwex towels. This is what she uses to clean windows. She wanted to be here herself tonight to talk about it, but she's got vertigo. I had it on New Year's Day at 5 a.m. in the morning. But she's going to come back. She's going to come back to the studio and talk to us about this. But she uses these towels. She's very excited about this company. I know you got us with this company. And she's excited. Melissa likes the company because not only does she like the towels that clean the windows amazingly, She likes the fact that these don't have chemicals because she's very concerned about the chemicals in the detergent, laundry detergent, dishwasher, the dishwasher detergent, that kind of stuff. The stuff that gets on the plates. She doesn't like all that. And so she's very excited about Norwex. Tell us about this company.
Yeah, so she's correct. All of their product is 100% chemical free. The original formula was created in Norway. That's where Norwex comes from. In Norway, over the years, it made its way to America. All of their cloth works with water only. I know 6 months ago when I started, I'm like, there's no way water is going to clean anything.
That's how she cleans her windows and loves it.
I clean my countertop, my windows, my camera lens, my TV, everything. I just use their window cloth. I spray a little bit of water, it's done. And I want you, with your audience, that water isn't doing the cleanup. Water is activating a full natural formula that is inside the cloth. And that is what's disinfecting and cleaning your surfaces. My favorite, aside the window cloth, I have switched over completely to their laundry material. The laundry detergents and laundry stripes, I use all of those. Of course, I'm a makeup girl, so the skincare product, makeup remover, I have fully moved over. And yes, you get a fair price, not a triple price just because we're organic, so we're going to charge you 3 times a very average price you would pay for a cloth or a detergent, except you save money. Because every cloth you purchase will come with 2 years guarantee from the company, not Brandon, not Melissa, not me. The company, when you get the package, the 2 years guarantee is inside that. They're so sure that you don't need to buy another one because this one wore off or torn off or it's not working anymore, that they give you 2 years guarantee. So wow. You save a lot of money not using paper towel or normal towels over and over where you have to buy them. You just get 1 cloth or 2, you're set for a long time.
Yeah. Well, Melissa doesn't like these cleaning products that have these chemicals in them, right? And I always, when I would in the past see her spraying with stuff, I would be like, don't inhale that. I don't want you doing that. I don't want you using that. It's, a lot of this, I won't name a brand, but a lot of this stuff you use to clean the windows, just inhaling it makes you start coughing. So it can't be good for you.
Well, if you read most of the labels of these products that we're used to using, or I used to use, it does literally say that after using it, now you have to go back with water and remove it from any surfaces because the chemical inside it can create cancer. Like, read the fine print of each label. It says it's right there. A lot of people don't read that. They spray, they wipe, they move on, not knowing there's chemical on surfaces around them that could create and cause cancer.
Well, Logan, do we have 1 or 2 of their spots we can play to show folks? I like the one. I like the. They were showing it there. I like that one right there.
The mop?
Yeah, the mop was pretty cool.
Amazing.
But then they have another one that actually squirts the water on the floor. I don't know if I can find that.
It's the same piece. You just change the pad, but the heading of the map is the same. Mop is the same map.
I gave you a video, Logan, if you can find it, but we're going to be bringing a bunch of these products to the desk. Melissa wants to talk about them soon. Okay, here's one, Logan. Thanks, buddy. There you go, that's
simply
it.
Connect the mop spray attachment to the handle and the base. When it clicks into place, that means it's secured. Next, remove the reservoir, fill it with tap water, then pop it back in. Adjust the mop handle to your height and add your Norwex wet mop pad. It's best to start with the damp pad. That's it, we're ready to go. When you need a fresh mist, angle the handle straight up to 90 degrees and push down to deliver the perfect spray of water. Mop smart with Norwex.
And they've got some great spots, and we're going to be featuring a lot of these spots now.
I actually told Melissa she's going to love their mop, either, the mist or dry. I have 3 cats, and then there's me and my hair. And at any given moment, my floors look so spotless. And I only mop once in the morning while I'm getting ready for my coffee. That's it. It just picks it all up. There's no cat hair. There's nothing. It picks it all up, and done.
What about the laundry soap? Again, Melissa loves these products because they don't have the negative chemicals. Do we have a spot on their laundry detergent, Logan? He's looking.
I think, well, never mind. No.
He says he's got one.
Okay.
Downloading.
Downloading.
Or I could just play it here. Excellent. And,
yes, I use it. I have tested this strip. I use it washing my runner that one of my cat decided to pee on. I can tell you that runner came out, the spot was gone, the smell was gone, and I put it right back down.
Good. And if you go up to the family care, like pets, you'll see all their pet products. They have a lot of pet products. You can go up to family care, click baby and kids. I have a lot of baby and kid products as well. So there's so much here, Annie, as you know.
Yes. And that's the thing. My point of view, Brandon, is number one, if you can be healthier and your kids could be healthier, because health is not just about diet, why not?
Right.
Secondly, it's not like you're not telling people to go pick up some luxury. These are essentials. Like, we all clean our house, we all take a shower, we all have towels. So it's one of those things of you can save money, you can be healthier, and you will message Melissa and say, thank you for introducing me to this product because I'm happy.
So you're going to be healthier, it's a better product, you're healthier, great prices, and you're supporting this network.
Exactly.
Where Logan's telling me in my ear that a lot of dogs have died from a product. I won't name the product.
Chemical.
From mopping products. Logan's where are you finding that, Logan? Oh, wow. He has seen dogs dying because of mopping products.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of people use the mopping product, the solutions, and they mop the floor. And again, they don't realize the chemical is on the floor that your dog is, that's what dogs do, right? They sniff, they lick, they pick up their toy from it. So the dog is digesting that chemical. Whereas you just saw on the spot, it's water only. Again, I can kind of understand some of your audience are like, water only? I was the same until I used it and I realized, wait, the purpose of water is just to activate the formula of the cloth or the mop pad or the face pad, whatever you're using.
Mm-hmm.
It does genuinely, it cleans and it keeps it clean. I don't like dusting. Everybody who knows me, I don't like dusting. But now I like dusting. It's a mitten. I just put it on my right arm. I walk around, dust everything, and for 2 flat days, the surface is not picking up dust again.
Yeah, I was just reading about dogs dying. I was just put into a search engine. And go put in a search engine, dogs dying from household products, and a lot of articles pop up. So there you go. Check it all out, folks. A brand new sponsor, thanks to Annie. Melissa's been using the rags for some time, the towels, I should say, for some time.
Cloth.
The cloth.
Window cloth.
And we're very excited about the others. We'll be talking to you about that. MelissaHouseClean.com, MelissaHouseClean.com. Annie, I guess we'll probably have to get an update from you again tomorrow. But in the meantime, her website, liveuptofreedom.substack.com and liveuptofreedom.com. And every day, 3 p.m. Central, 4 Eastern, right here on Worldview Tube. Thank you as always, Annie.
Thank you, Brennan. I'll see you tomorrow.
You too. We'll be right back, guys.
We live in uncertain times. In fact, we live at a time when our own governments all over the world are warning us that there could be big problems with our power grid. World War III seems to be right on the horizon. Let me ask you this. Do you have a satellite phone? Should communications go down with cell towers? Do you have a satellite phone to get a hold of that college student or your spouse who travels, whatever it might be, to get a hold of your senior adult parents? We have satellite phones at worldviewtalk.com, and you get the satellite phone for free when you sign up for their very reasonable payment programs for the service. Sign up for the service with a reasonable contract, get the satellite phone for free. Worldviewtalk.com. You'll also find they have, well, what I now have, which is a solar generator. Yeah, I have a gas generator, an LP propane generator, but what if that goes down? I want to back up to my backup. So I now have a solar generator as well. You'll find them at worldviewtalk.com. Check it out today, worldviewtalk.com.
Is Colonel Rob Maness. Happy New Year, Colonel. Your first appearance here on the broadcast, 2026. Glad you're with us. A lot going on. Venezuela, Iran, protests in the streets. It looks like that regime, the days are numbered. It's quite remarkable to watch. I love it. Of course, Annie Cyrus, our big Iranian expert, is keeping us posted. It sounds like maybe in the next 48 hours, we might have to be going back on the air over the weekend. Looks like some big operations might be coming. Anyway, talk to us about what are the big issues you're following and watching right now.
Well, you just named most of them right there, Brennan. Thanks for having me back, and Happy New Year.
You too.
To everybody at the network and everything and around the country. We appreciate it. Look, you know, the Venezuela thing was a phenomenal operation, very well done. Of course, the big question is the horizon. What's the next step? The president doesn't talk in policy wonk terminology, so it throws a lot of Washingtonites and people that have been in the military for 32 years, like myself, tends to throw them off unless folks understand and have been listening to him through the years when he's been in office and been in command or in control of the executive branch. So when he says America's going to run it, I have to take a pause and wait for a certain period of time. I don't even know what that period of time is, to see how he fleshes that out publicly as he's talking to folks in the media or wherever he's talking to folks, because he generally doesn't mean what I think he means, because I've got my military planner hat on when he's talking like that. So we'll see how that goes. I think that we're seeing some positive movement from the individuals that are still in the government in Venezuela. And we'll, like I said, we'll see how it goes. Iran, that's all, you know, it's good news. Again, though, America doesn't need to be involved, boots on the ground with that. The Iranians, the folks that are resisting, have been building plans for several years. The group that I support is got a transition plan ready to go. They have people on the ground all over the country. They're part of the network of folks that are protesting, and they're looking for a secular, democratic society, whatever form that takes as a government. Unfortunately, though, there's a little sticky wicket involved in this Iranian thing, and that's the monarchy, because the Crown Prince, Pahlavi, is out there, the Shah's son, saying that he wants to take the lead on that. But he's not part of the group that I've been talking to for over 5 years now that have done all this work. So, and nobody really wants a monarchy to go back in. That's what caused all the problems that ended up with the Ayatollah.
Right. Well, of course, you know, Annie Cyrus would strongly disagree with that because her and her team are in his corner. But of course, yeah, I'm guessing your group isn't highly tied back. I'm hoping to MEK, right? Not the MEK guys.
Well, it's NCRI, and some of those guys were MEK, but some of them were also in the monarchist government too. You know, so, but there's not a plan on the monarchy side. This guy just started popping up. It sure smells like a backroom U.S. executive branch operation with the initial CIA behind it. And that's the last thing that the real Iranian people want to have happen, is another regime like that. Because it doesn't matter whether it's a theocracy or a monarchy, folks that are fighting for freedom shouldn't accept either one of them.
So what do you think is going to
That's my
happen?
opinion.
What do you think is going to happen in Iran? If you had to guess, watching now, they're setting buildings on fire, cars on fire. They're killing some of the regime folks, police leaders who have been torturing them and killing them. If you had to guess now, I mean, they've shut down the internet. They've shut down telephone lines.
Yeah.
Of course, Starlink is bringing a lot of emails and pictures out, thanks to Elon Musk and others. So if you had to guess, is this regime at a tipping point? Are they going to be able to push it over?
I think they're close. They're closer than it's ever been in my lifetime watching these types of things unfold. The big indicators in two of the cities, the police forces that are responsible for suppressing these protests and resistors have gone to the side of the citizens in two different cities now. That's a significant event. It's new in modern times when these quasi uprisings have occurred in Iran, and that gives me hope that this is going to continue to gain momentum. Like I said, the one big issue is this issue between the monarchists and the democracy folks, and I have called for them to be working together, but I see no indication that Pahlavi and Miriam, I think it's Rabjani, I might have the last name wrong, have been working and are working together to have a good joint transition plan to go in and establish whatever form of democracy that the Iranian people need to have to move forward in freedom. You don't need a monarch to do that. As an American, I will never support my resources being used to establish or reestablish a monarchy. I will not do it.
Now, talk to me about President Trump saying he's moving the Pentagon budget from $1 trillion to $1.5 trillion. What does that say to you?
Well, it's good news from a modernization perspective and the perspective of being able to build up more rapidly so that we can have the strength to deter China instead of being at risk of them going into combat mode in places like Taiwan, those kind of things. So from that perspective, it's good news. But the bad news is that he's only saying, well, we're going to get $500 billion off of the tariffs. So he's adding on to the existing budget when there's not been any DOGE cuts, Brandon. He needs to turn Elon Musk loose on the Department of War, get that entire team looking at that, because there is so much fraud, waste, and abuse in that budget. There's no way that we need even $1 trillion budget to do the things that we need to do. So we're adding to it, which is good because we'll be able to move faster as long as the adjoining or accompanying fraud, waste, and abuse doesn't get built into that part of the system again. And it will if we don't fix that. And we haven't adequately done that DOGE operation in the Department of War. I think it's only been $164 million last I looked at.
So does the increase in the budget show you that President Trump is expecting to have to use the military more frequently than he thought? And
No.
where?
No, it just shows that he recognizes that we're behind in capabilities. Like China's got the largest combat navy floating on the ocean in the world. They just fielded their third aircraft carrier. They're getting ready to float their first, the world's first ever uniquely capable drone aircraft carrier. The Chinese are fielding ships that are cargo ships that have been outfitted with vertical launch systems, drone launch capabilities to go throughout the world and be able to sit in your harbor, as you and I have talked about before, and have those shipping containers pop open and all this capability here. Well, that's been seen recently in the media. So he recognizes that we're behind from a numbers perspective, even though our quality may be slightly better than the Chinese. I don't think it is. I think we're about at parity. But the other thing that he recognizes is that the Chinese and the elite in this country, especially inside the Department of War, still fail to recognize this, is that the Chinese have have built out their nuclear weapons and launch capability dramatically in the last 10 years. And our intelligence and our elites have not and continue to not acknowledge that the right way. But I'm sure that the president has advisors that are telling him the truth, and he sees that too. And it takes a lot of money to both refurbish our old nuclear systems and field the new ones that have been in the plans for quite a while, like the new intercontinental ballistic missile that's out there.
All right, so where are we at with Russia? Where are we at with Russia and Ukraine? Now, we know that we have taken a tanker that supposedly is Russian and seized it.
Taken two.
So tell me where you see this going, and where do you see things going as far as ending this war between Russia and Ukraine?
Yeah, the big debate about what more pressure can we apply to Russia was sanctioning countries like India on the oil and gas trade that they're doing with Russia. But taking these tankers is another way to put pressure through that stream of oil and gas on Russia and therefore on Putin to see if we can get him to come to the table and give a little bit more in this negotiation. But both sides have met with the president. They've come to this quasi, I won't call it an agreement, but they've come to acknowledge that all the points in the current 21-point plan now, or 20-point plan, I've lost track of how many points they've got left, are workable. And it's just got to get down to the details and the tactics of how that gets worked. There's some things the Russians are going to be sticking points about. They're not going to allow European troops or American troops on Ukrainian soil as observers. It's just not going to happen. They're not going to agree to that. But they have agreed that there could be some sort of demilitarized zone with neutral observer forces there for peacekeeping purposes and those kind of things. So that's where they're at on that. And those things just take a lot of time. And the Ukrainians continue to be obstinate about the territory issue, where the Russians have said, hey, we just want this one little more peace in the Donbass area, and we'll just keep our lines where they're at in the other oblast down to the southwest. But the Ukrainians haven't come to an agreement on that to where they could get to yes. But I think it's coming. It's just very, very slow.
All right, let's show this. What do you make of this report? Ukrainian media warns that Russia could launch an Orshnik MIRV attack tonight. The U.S. Embassy and Zelensky also warned about a massive but unspecified Russian air attack. Movements have been spotted in Russia's Kapustin Yar base from where the last Orshnik was launched. Thoughts on that?
Russia's still in the driver's seat, Brandon. That's the problem in the West, is that the elites, the Ukrainians, have been duped by the elites in NATO and the West, the United States, and the national security apparatus, that they should push back against Russia's negotiating positions on things like territory. But the problem is, militarily, Russia is in the driver's seat. They still gain territory every single day. They still can launch overwhelming air and missile strikes almost at will. It continue to cause grave damage. They're not targeting civilians intentionally, from what I can see, no matter what the propagandists say. But they are targeting targets that get civilians killed. That's what war is all about. But the Ukrainians are obstinate about this territory issue, and they continue to stick on it. And I think it's because they're getting bad advice from folks in America and NATO.
Well, things are definitely heating up in Iran. We are getting reports that the anti-regime protests have set fire to a radio and TV station. They're burning the government cars. I mean, this is we've never seen anything like this since the regime came into power in '79. Not to this degree, never.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is all good news, as bad as it is, and it's tragic that people are going to die and have died in this effort. It's something that's been a long time coming, and the folks that have been planning this and praying for this and trying to establish the conditions to both make it happen and then be able to respond appropriately with a peaceful transition very quickly. They are ready to go, in my opinion, from what I could.
Really just amazing footage coming out of there.
The Ayatollah may want to go to Moscow.
Well, and I'm hearing
time.
Annie's saying he may not go to Moscow. He may go to India.
There's no telling. He might have gone to Venezuela until 2 weeks ago or a week ago.
Well, we're hearing that special forces are on the border of Iran and Iraq. What does that tell you? Some are saying it's the same
Doesn't
forces
tell me doesn't tell me anything. Doesn't tell me anything. No, because we've had forces there for many, many years.
Well, they're saying,
many,
and I
many
don't know if the
years.
reports are true. They're saying it was the same group that grabbed Maduro has now gone over there. I don't know if that's true or not. But
I haven't
would
seen
you
any indication of that.
would you be shocked if they tried to go in and get the supreme leader?
No, I wouldn't be shocked at all. But it's a much more massive operation.
Because I'm
now
sure he's
there have
underground, right?
Oh, I'm sure he is. Sure he is. And he's surrounded by loyal Iranian Republican Guard Corps. That's how the mullahs have stayed in power, was through the IRGC. The core of the IRGC were those crazy protesters that took the American hostages. That core of people has grown up in this system to become the fanatical leaders that protect the Ayatollahs. So he's going to be surrounded by many, many layers of that. It'd be a much more difficult operation than what we saw with Maduro and his wife in Venezuela. It's a
Let's say
much
they-
larger target set.
Let's say they did get to him, assuming he's not killed in a gunfight or crossfire. Let's say they captured him alive. What would they do with him?
Probably bring him back to the United States, but I don't think he's been indicted that I'm aware of. So, Gitmo, prisoner of war.
So they could take him right to Gitmo without an indictment then?
Sure, absolutely. That's where Maduro would have gone had he not been indicted.
Do you think that would be a good thing if the supreme leader was captured and taken to Gitmo?
I don't think it changes anything because the government that's in control is still the IRGC, Iran proper. They're not going to just fall apart. They're not. The only thing that's going to make them fall apart is the weight of the momentum of the masses of the people that we're seeing starting to get that momentum.
So where do you think we find ourselves 2-3 days from now?
With Iran, I think we stay the hell out of it, but you never know these days.
So you don't think we should be involved going over there and stirring it up? Let the people do it. Because that's what actually...
Oh, let them do it. Support them. You know, the president's done that a couple times. He's been out on messaging on that saying we support him 100%. He threatened the Ayatollah. He said, hey, you start killing protesters and bad things are going to happen. They should take him at his word. Every time he's said something like that, he's acted.
What about Israel going against Iran? What are you hearing on that ground?
If they think it's in their vital national interest to do it, they should do it. But they darn sure better be able to get their objectives met without having to ask the United States to come into combat for them.
Anything else you're following you want to tell us about?
Well, we're just paying attention to the political stuff that's going on around the country. I just interviewed a governor candidate for Ohio that's challenging Ramaswamy in the
He's kinda
Ohio
flaming out, isn't he?
Republican primary.
Ramaswamy's flaming out, isn't he?
Yeah, well, Casey Push got into it. He's a blue collar guy, been there all his life, very successful. He's called the Car Guy on YouTube, but he's got a great plan, got the right approach, giving priority to the people. You know, knows about all the fraud. They got a Somali fraud problem there now. Obviously, they've got an H-1B problem, which Vivek is very weak on, Casey calls himself a Buckeye nationalist, an America First candidate, and he's taken Ramaswamy on, and Ramaswamy kind of asked for it. He's been a crappy candidate, to be honest with you.
RobManus.com, RobManus.com each and every day right here. 2 p.m. Central, 3 Eastern on Worldview Tube, our very own Colonel Rob Manus. Happy New Year to you and your family. Glad you're on our team, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate what y'all do.
You too. And maybe we'll be talking to him this weekend, depending on what happens in Iran. We have to break in and go live this weekend. We will do it. We're prepared to do that. All right, guys, we're going to be right back after this break.
You woke up with a sore throat and a low-grade fever. You know you are getting sick, so here's your choices. You can get sicker and miss work. Try to see a doctor this week or sit hours in a crowded waiting room at urgent care.
I have a smarter option for you. Open your medical emergency kit. Match your symptoms to doctor-recommended prescription in your booklet and take the right meds now and get well faster.
This is not a first aid kit. It's like having an urgent care in your home. It includes doctor-prescribed medications to treat over 39 medical issues like respiratory infections, strep throat, pneumonia, UTIs, and more.
No waiting to see the doctor and no standing in line at the pharmacy. It's right here.
Every home should have at least one medical emergency kit, and here's how to order.
Go to worldviewhealthcare.com. Your kit to treat dozens of common and serious illnesses is rushed to your door. worldviewhealthcare.com. That's worldviewhealthcare.com.
The emergency kit available at worldviewhealthcare.com. Make sure you don't have to go to urgent care. I got pneumonia. I didn't have to go. I took this last year. Stayed at home. Went to bed. Join me now is Dr. Bashima, our first visit for 2026. Happy New Year, Dr. Bashima.
Happy New Year, Brandon. How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there. I don't think I've really talked about it on the air. I'll do it now for the first time. I woke up at 5 a.m. on New Year's Day with the room spinning and massive vertigo, like crazy vertigo. Nauseous, obviously. Feeling like I was having a stroke. Weird stuff going on in my head. I woke my wife up. I said, something's wrong. I said, you better just keep a track of that. I want you to wear it in case I pass out, because I feel like I'm going to pass out. And the room was just spinning like crazy. She said, let me take your blood pressure. So we have one of those blood pressure machines. And she took it, but she didn't tell me. She said, oh, yeah, your blood pressure is a little high. It's not bad. Later, she said it was pretty high, but she didn't want to tell me because she didn't want me to get more worked up. So I just tried a few tricks. A friend of mine was a world-renowned surgeon. He passed away a few years ago. But I'd had vertigo before. He said, Brandon, what you need to do is reset the wheels that are inside your head, these little wheels in there that do your balance. And I think this is all part of that norovirus that's going around. He said, pick a spot on the wall and lock your eyes onto it, and then go up, but don't move your eyes. Go down, go sideways, go this way. Never moving your eye off that spot. He said, keep doing that. And this helps to reset the little wheels in your ear that are related to your balance. So do that multiple times a day to reset those wheels. Well, Melissa, she thought, well, you just felt vertigo and got a little upset about it and kind of spiraled. And I said, no, I'm not overreacting. I'm telling you, I felt like weird. Like my arms felt like 100 pounds. My body felt like super weak. It was terrible. It finally passed after about an hour. And then I had it for the rest of the day. And then every day it got a little better. It's still happening today, but not anywhere like it was. Well, guess who had the same experience this morning? Melissa. Same one. And she says to me, I feel like I'm having a stroke. My head, what's going on up here feels weird. And the room is spinning. I think I'm going to throw up. And I said, let's take your blood pressure. And this went on for about an hour. It finally passed to a degree. But now she has the, kind of almost like this vertigo hangover. And I said, well, welcome to my world. This will go on now for 3 or 4 or 5 days as you try to fight this virus off. And I haven't mentioned it on the air because I know some people have bigger health issues than I do, so I don't want to appear like a baby. But since we're having our medical talk with you, there you go. I think it's part of the norovirus. I looked it up. Some people have the norovirus so bad they're doing projectile vomiting. My wife has a friend, I don't want to get too graphic. She has a friend that woke up the other night and she had gone to the bathroom all in the bed. That's how it was like explosive. She had no warning. No warning.
Yeah. These viruses.
Her husband thought that was a real blessing, I'm sure. Poor guy. But they were all up trying to get that taken care of. So when I read the norovirus symptoms, I'm like, you know what? I think what I went through is okay. compared to what I'm hearing other people are dealing with. Stomach cramps, I had those. That was part of it. Bad indigestion, like heart attack type indigestion. Melissa got that too. But I looked it all up, and these were all the same symptoms of this neurovirus. Okay, tell me what you think's going on here. And are you hearing about this?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in practice for 30 years. There's not much I haven't seen, and I've had people come in with just plain old vertigo from any virus, where it is so bad that we've actually had to admit them to the hospital because they do have non-retractable nausea and vomiting because the vertigo is so bad. But in most cases, what your friend taught you, something called vestibular exercises. And there's all sorts of different ways that you can do vestibular exercises. The best way to do them is actually laying in bed, where you just turn your head and then your body and so on and so forth. You can look them up. They're so widely available right now on YouTube channels. Vestibular exercises, if you do have vertigo, most cases you can remedy yourself at home. There are prescription medications we can provide patients who have that particular symptom from a virus. But here's why I wanted to talk about viruses today, is I really wanted to hit home on what you can do to prevent the virus and also to significantly improve outcomes, whether you get the virus or not. So hopefully the goal for prevention is twofold. One, if you do get the virus, you'll have a lot less of a viral attack. And then two, hopefully you just prevent the virus altogether. I haven't been sick in so many years, Brandon, and I do this. What I'm going to tell you, I actually do. In fact, the last time I remember getting a virus is when my kids were little. And this is when I came up with this. Yeah, this is when I came up with this idea of how the heck am I seeing all these influenza cases and COVID and staph infections and strep throats, and I don't get anything? How is that? And then my kids go to school and bring stuff home and I get it. Well, what I realized is they're just increasing the viral load in my house. So what we started doing when Grace and Olivia were about 4 and 6 is we started having them come home and immediately change their clothes, wash their hands. You know, if there was a high viral, you know, if it was in the middle of winter, I might have them rinse off really quick in a shower. It was fun for them anyway, but that significantly decreased viral load in our house. The other thing I did is I opened up the sliding door window in our, eating area, the kitchen area, for about an hour, even when it was cold, because I wanted to ventilate the air that was in our house. And that significantly reduced us also from getting sick, because, who wants to be sick?
Now, that's very interesting, because I did that last week. I opened a lot of the windows and doors and said to Melissa, let's clean out the air in here. I said, let's clean out the air in here and see if just getting some fresh air in here and whatever this virus is, clean out the house a little bit. So I actually did that.
That's smart. Yep, that's so smart. I mean, ventilation is key to any medical practices, because, we're going to see a lot of viruses there too. We want to make sure we're cleaning the air constantly. But you know what? Number one, identify when you're high risk. You're high risk when you're around someone sick. Like, Melissa should identify she was around someone sick 3 or 4 days ago, 5 days ago, and maybe started
she was sleeping and kissing me. Sleeping next to me and kissing me. And I told her, I said, you should have been kissing on me. You got it.
She should have been taking a high dose immunity pack that we sell on My Vitamin, the Worldview My Vitamins, myvitamins.com. That pack has, and I'm going to go into detail on that because I think it's really critically important to understand how important that is. But number one is identify when you are around sick people so that you can take care of yourself. Whether even if you just go and buy some emergency vitamin C and load up on that from Walgreens, that's better than doing nothing. But also, as soon as you get home, wash your face, put your hair up. Your hair traps a lot of viruses, so put it up. And until you have a chance to shower, and change your clothes, maybe even rub some essential oils on your body.
Now, I do that automatically. When I come home from a restaurant, the first thing I do is ditch the pants in the laundry room, because I'm like, I don't know what I'm sitting in. I have no idea what person has sat there before me. I usually try to wipe the seat up, wipe the seat down. I don't want to seem like I'm Monk or what about Bob? But I'm like, I have no idea. People's hygiene today is so bad in the most cases that I see, that this is one reason why I hate going out. And but no, I won't wear a pair of pants out and then sit on my furniture. I'm sorry. I don't do that. And I do wash my hands a lot. Yeah. I'll even wash my hands if I touch a doorknob at the house. because
Oh,
I know
wow.
other people are coming in and out grabbing the doorknob. So if I touch a doorknob, I go wash my hands.
Well, you should definitely wash your hands, even if you haven't touched a doorknob or anything else, before you touch your mouth, because that's how you're going to inject bugs into your body, right? So if you're
Or rub your
even
eyes,
if you-
right?
or touch your face, you should get into the habit. Sometimes I'll have these. Some people are touching their face all the time. I'll actually have them wear a band, and every time they see that band, it's a reminder of, oh, I'm not supposed to be touching my face. Some people just have that bad habit. But if you're on trains, planes, in a car stuck with people for 4 or 5 hours, and the car is full, and it's a van, and you've got a lot of coughing kids and stuff like that in there, you're high risk. Like, don't just wait till you get sick. Do something about it. And so we're actually creating, and I cannot wait, this is next week, we're actually creating a single bottle of our everyday immunity that people can take just one capsule every day. And it's got NAC, quercetin, vitamin C, vitamin A. It's got all the stuff in one little pill. So I'm super excited about it. I wish it was out now. The reason I'm mentioning it now is because Better Than Nothing is the immunity pack, and you can share that with your family. But this is really, really important. To take. I have.
Where's
this
the immunity
17
pack? Where's that one?
It's in there somewhere. We're actually going to start selling a lot more individual bottles, because our patients are like, I want bottles. I don't want packs necessarily. So we're going to do both, but that's why we're trying to put all of this stuff into one pill. It should have been done 2 or 3 weeks ago. We weren't happy with the results yet, but there it is. That is your Immune Health Daily. It is chock full of some really amazing things. So I do want to just say a couple more things that might be really helpful to patients. Number one is, if you have kids at home, do everything I just said. Like, don't undervalue that. I haven't been sick since then. And my kids are now, one's in medical school, one just graduated college. I mean, I don't have like little ones at home anymore. So it's been about 20 years since I've really gotten even a virus, and I haven't been on antibiotics.
Logan, she's a cyborg. You and I were discussing it a few weeks ago. She's so smart, so disciplined, never sick. We were discussing this a few weeks ago. We thought you were a cyborg. Now it's confirmed.
I don't know what that means.
You don't know what a cyborg is?
No.
It's a very advanced robot, like something out of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh.
The wife just brought me coffee. How did you bring me coffee without falling down with your vertigo, babe?
I've never been called a robot.
So,
but I do want to sideboard. But I do want to tell you, there's this one experiment that I think is really smart to do with your little kiddos.
Mm-hmm.
And that is to have, like a 3, 4, 5-year-old, have them stick their hand in flour, both hands in flour, and let the flour represent a virus.
Mm-hmm.
And so that they could physically see everything they touch and how easy it is to spread the virus, and how easy it is then for somebody who comes along to come and get it. And, you don't want to put fear in them where they become, like washing their hands every 20 minutes, but you want them to just visually see the virus, because they don't understand cover your mouth with your elbow. They don't understand that. And so if we can decrease that, the vectors are the little kiddos, especially the vectors to the grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
That's really bad when that happens. Do you know I had a 17-year-old in my practice in December who has been sick for over a year?
What's going on there? What's going on there?
She just catches everything. And her immune system has been, I'm telling you, I reviewed all her labs. I have never seen this many labs on a 17-year-old before. And her immune system was perfectly fine, but she just kept getting sick. So I put her on this immune pack. Plus, we made the lifestyle changes, right? The dietary changes, eat the vegetables, eat the color of the rainbow. She's lucky to get 2 cups of vegetables in, her mom said, but she's improving. And she got a cold over Christmas for the first time since I started working with her. And it only lasted 2 days, and no need for antibiotics. And her mom is finally a believer, because she got really sick about a year and a half ago. She actually missed 6 months of school because she kept getting sick and wasn't able to go to school. This is like life-changing for a 17-year-old, because this summer she's got a huge, they do this trip, I guess, at her school. It's a pretty big trip. And it's like, a couple $1,000s. And her mom wants to know if she should take her out of it, because she doesn't know if she'll be able to handle it. And it's life-changing. I'm telling you, doing things to support your immune system for some people is life-changing. So I want to dig into what's in this immunity pack, if you don't mind, because I really want to make sure people understand the science behind why we did what we did and why we're creating this one pill pack that I want to maybe come back next week and talk about, if we have it online at that point. But we have something in our pill pack called NAC, N-acetylcysteine. We've talked about that a lot. It's one of your body's strongest antioxidants, really helps support liver detox, decreases liver burden, all sorts of great things. But did you know that in a nursing home study, the reason why it's a nursing home study, Brandon, is because nursing home patients who are 65 and above are highest risk for viral infections. Did you know taking 600 milligrams a day decreased their pneumonia significantly, their pneumonia rate? What that is suggesting, and what multiple studies confirm, is that we're creating, when we're older, our immune system doesn't work like it's supposed to. And so we have something called anergy with our immune system. T cell response is slower, white blood cell production is slower. And when you take NAC, it actually increases production of white blood cells to the point where you're actually what we call normal immune system response. So instead of anergy, the slow immune system response, we actually normalize our immune system response. What do you think about that? Like, that is like so mind-boggling to me that we don't have every single person in this country on NAC.
Well, that's, there's so many things that we shouldn't be doing and that we should be doing. I just saw a doctor, wish I'd saved the clip. Maybe I did, I'll look. A doctor just talked about taking a bottle of water, just water from a plastic bottle. He went and tested it himself, and he talked about the amount of microplastics that he found in that one bottle of water. And then he started talking about what it does to your organs and your brain and all the problems they're seeing from that.
I mean, the plastics are what we call obesogens. They affect receptor sites. They act like hormones. It's like, why would you want foreign hormones working in your body and you don't know what they're going to do? At least like with estrogen hormone, you know what it does.
Right.
Plastic hormones, you have no clue, and it binds it irreversibly.
In fact, I just found the video. You want to watch it?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Watch this real quick.
Before you play that really quick, what I tell people is take your plastic water bottle and take a tablespoon of dirt and put it in there. Would you drink it?
No.
No, you wouldn't. But yet, because the plastics are invisible, you're drinking it. It makes no sense.
And you know what I do? I get that water, the Pellegrino water.
Yeah.
And I get the glass bottles.
Yeah, I think that's good.
And then I drink the Pellegrino, and then I use the glass bottle and fill it up with filtered water.
Yeah, I think that's smart.
So if I have to leave the house and I want to bring bottled water with me, I bring it in the glass bottle.
That's
now,
right.
Can I just tell you something? My mother-in-law was telling us this kind of stuff 35 years ago. The woman's never owned a microwave in her house, ever.
Yep. They're the healthiest.
She was telling us this stuff 35 years ago. Don't eat stuff that comes out of a plastic container. Don't put anything with plastic in the microwave. Better not. Don't even have a microwave. I mean, she was trying to tell us this stuff 35, 40 years ago. Well, 35. I've been married 35 years next month. And so I've dated my wife 2 years. So for 37 years, I've been hearing this. Here's this little clip I was talking about.
Clip.
Here we go. Where do I go, Logan? Here we go.
So I just got back from the lab measuring microplastics, the amount of microplastics in any one of these single-use containers, and finding that there indeed are around 100 to 300 particles of microplastics in any one of these containers. Why is this important? It's because anything foreign to your body, like a bacteria, like a virus, like cigarette smoke, like asbestos, like microplastics, anything foreign to your body will cause an immune reaction or a long-term simmering inflammation. If that inflammation occurs over a long period of time, i.e. years, by you continually consuming one-stop shop water bottles like this, then that's going to increase your risk of long-term disease, chronic diseases like cancer and Alzheimer's disease. In fact, we're finding these microplastics not only in our poop. In 2019 was the first time that we've been able to measure microplastics, and we finding them in our poop. But since then have found a lot of microplastics throughout our bodies. In over 90% of the samples taken in various studies, we're finding microplastics. So this is a problem. We're also finding in our brains. I'm finding it, our lab is finding it in the colons of patients with inflammatory bowel diseases.
Wow. Doc, what are your thoughts?
Anywhere you see receptors, which is every single part of your body, you have receptors, okay? Like, for example, you have receptors for estrogen, progesterone, thyroid, testosterone, insulin. Receptors is how the body communicates with itself. It's kind of like the freeway system. So in order for the brain to know what's going, everything works via receptors, okay? That's the information highway. Those receptors are being blocked by those plastics. Okay, that's serious. It's not only a toxin, but it's also affecting communication. In fact, some of these things we put in our in this immune med pack, like vitamin A and vitamin D, they're fat-soluble vitamins that act like hormones in a good way, not in a bad way, not like the plastics are acting. But you got to know what these things are doing to your body. And so I stopped drinking out of plastic water bottles, except in cases of emergency, because dehydration was, more important to prevent than, avoiding some plastics. But this is what we're talking about. If we flip back to that NAC, that toxic overburden, okay, that's what we're talking about. When we have a lot of toxins coming into our body, we need a well-functioning liver to get that junk out. And so that NAC definitely helps with that.
And again, the NAC is available through worldviewvitamins.com now?
It is available in the immune pack, and eventually we're going to have we just finished making it and deciding how much to put in it and getting all the right ingredients and the right amounts. We're going to have a bottle called Everyday Immunity. You just take one every day, and it's got NAC, it's got quercetin. I don't know if you know how quercetin works, but no. Quercetin is a flavonoid. It's found in a lot of foods like onions and things like that. But we put it in our med pack. You know why? Because quercetin works like hydroxychloroquine in that it facilitates zinc getting into the cell. I don't know if you know this, but zinc is an antiviral. Okay, it kills viruses.
Yes, I knew that because we talked about it during COVID. Because you would take the ivermectin to open the cell, and then you take the zinc, and the zinc gets into the cell and kills the ivermectin. And Dr. Zelensky, Zev Zelensky, was that his name, Logan? The one that passed away? The Zelenko. Dr. Zev Zelenko, when I would interview him, said it's like, without the zinc, the ivermectin is like having a gun. But you're not loading it, not putting a bullet.
No bullets.
The ivermectin is the gun, the zinc is the bullet.
Yeah. And hydroxychloroquine also works the same way. And so quercetin is the hydroxychloroquine. It's a natural form of it. So why would you not take it every day? Why would you not have it ready to go? Why would you not have your army ready to go before the virus invades? Like, why would you call up the army after the virus is already there? And here's the problem. Time is viral replication. The longer your virus is there replicating its a happy self, the worse your disease is going to be. If we can kill that virus right away, we're not even going to maybe know that we were sick.
Which is why you've not gotten sick for years,
I think
right?
that's what happens to me, to be honest with you. I love NAC because I know how good it is for my liver and detox.
Okay, so when is this going to be available at Worldview Vitamins?
Well, the med pack is already available. I would tell anyone, start that right away. We also put a little zinc in it. That way you don't have to take extra zinc. We also put a little vitamin A, vitamin C, a little vitamin D. of course, so it's got all those amazing things.
And you're talking
in
about
it.
the immune med pack right here. Immune health.
And I'll tell you what, they all work by themselves. Okay. Like, for example, NAC also thins out the mucus. You know how you get that thick, disgusting mucus when you get a virus? NAC is a natural mucolytic, so it breaks it up. So it works, and vitamin A helps build. Vitamin A is like one of the building blocks of mucin, so helps build that. It helps produce that mucus to help protect your, your mucus linings, the nasal passages, pulmonary passages, gut. It even helps with gut rehab. So vitamin A does that. But what's beautiful about what we chose is it all also works synergistically together. In other words, each one of these ingredients makes one another more powerful. Does that make sense? Like, that's really important. Yeah. And of course, these supplements are great, but if you're not sleeping, you're not eating healthy, you're not exercising, all these things, when I see people who are sick, in addition to treating that, I'm like, now go outside and walk for 20 minutes. Just boost your natural immunity, natural killer cells naturally with a little exercise. Now, don't go do a, CrossFit class or weight train. Just go do something really mild when you're sick. But on a regular basis, you can do whatever you want exercise-wise. But even when you're sick, you should be doing something if you're able.
Okay, before we conclude, I have also been doing my red light sauna a lot.
Yeah.
30 minutes a day. 30 minutes a day.
Yep. I think that's good.
I did it when I had the virus, but I could only stay there so long, but I was hoping it would kill the virus.
Yeah. So, it might have helped your body kill the virus. I don't know how great it is necessarily for, let me put it to you this way. The fact that you were doing it before is probably what's helped you the most because your body was more ready to take on that viral challenge. That's what I'm trying to help people do, is take on that viral challenge before you actually need it. There's nothing wrong with that. My immune system is not weaker because I haven't been getting viruses. I probably, to be honest, have gotten viruses. I just don't feel it. I did get COVID, and I only knew that because I had to check myself because I was treating my sister, Tina, who had COVID in my house. And so because I was treating her, I went ahead and checked myself and I was positive. So I did give myself an IV infusion of NAC as well as high dose vitamin C and a couple other things just in case. But that was back in 2021. But I've never had COVID or anything else that I would have known by any symptoms with. Yeah. And this is really important because, we don't like being sick. Like that vitamin A, that helps protect that gut mucosa. It's your first line of defense against the norovirus. And the vitamin D, there's studies that show and correlate so many research papers, horrible outcomes with people who are vitamin D deficient with COVID. So if you're vitamin D deficient, you're going to do worse if you get a virus, period. So why not have so we put a little tiny bit of vitamin D in this just in case people are taking other forms of vitamin D, but we put one that's very highly absorbed and really effective, but in a good amount. So anyway, that's what we have for today. I just wanted to, yeah.
And before we go, I mentioned the movie What About Bob? Have you ever seen What About Bob?
I have. It's been a long time, but yes.
One of my favorite movies, by the way. Here's just a little scene.
It was very smartly written.
Wasn't it though? Here's a quick little scene. Here's a quick little scene.
Okay.
Why don't I start? Huh? The simplest way to put it, I have problems. I worry about diseases, so I have trouble touching things. In public places, it's almost impossible. I have a real big problem moving.
Talk about moving.
As long as I'm in my apartment, I'm okay. But when I want to go out, I get weird.
Talk about weird.
Talk about weird. Well, I get dizzy spells, nausea, cold sweats, hot sweats, fever blisters, difficulty breathing, difficulty swallowing, blurred vision, involuntary trembling, dead hands, numb lips, fingernail sensitivity, pelvic discomfort.
So the real question is, what is the crisis, Bob? What is it that you are truly afraid of?
What if my heart stops beating? What if I'm looking for a bathroom, I can't find it, and my bladder explodes?
Logan, you've seen that, right? Like 100 times, he says. There you go. I bet your husband probably enjoys that movie.
You know, we both did, because it's actually from a medical perspective, like ER, when ER first came out, I was actually in medical school at the time, so I didn't get to watch it much, but I loved it because it was pretty accurate. There's a lot of accuracy to a lot of what we saw, sometimes a little exaggerated, but I loved What About Bob? The thing I remember about it the most is how smart it was written, the words, the vocabulary, the descriptions. Like what you're describing there is something I've actually seen in my office with that fear and paranoia that's paralyzing. Right?
What do you do for someone like that?
We, from our perspective, especially from a functional medicine perspective, our job, like what I just did today, was hopefully empower people. That's a big deal for me. And to have some self-awareness around, around what you're fearful of, and to kind of make it more realistic. I never had a patient quite as bad as, Bob, but so we try to face fears with reality. And then also here we are empowering you, telling you that you can control your own immune system. Your immune system isn't just some random thing. You can control it. And it's so easy. And these supplements that we put in this med pack are so benign and so tolerable, but yet the research behind them is so powerful. Like, why would you not do that? So our number one job is the self-awareness and empowering people to take control of their own health.
Baby steps.
Yep. And they work.
That's a line from the show, Baby Steps. I'm sailing. All right. WorldviewVitamins.com, Dr. Bashima. Thank you, Doc. Happy New Year.
Thanks, you too.
Talk to you
I
next
hope
week.
Melissa feels good.
Yes,
Take care.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys, we'll be right back.
Introducing the Sentry Wellness System, the ultimate under-sink water treatment solution designed with you in mind. Say goodbye to harmful toxins and hello to water enriched with essential nutrients like calcium and magnesium. Enjoy the benefits of increased pH for on-demand alkalinity, all from a zero-waste system that fits seamlessly into your home. Installation is a breeze, taking just 15 minutes, so you can have clean, healthy, great-tasting water straight from your tap. Perfect for apartments, homes, rentals, and even RVs. Elevate your hydration and well-being with the Sentry Wellness System, because you deserve the best in every drop.
Sentry H2O. Tap into wellness.
We got some interesting news for you guys tonight. A new social media distribution news platform we didn't know about. I want to tell you about it right now. Brett, he's a representative, works with our good friend Tina Blanco, worldviewtalk.com, worldviewtalk.com. Brett, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Let's go right away to this new site. Let's start with that. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Tell me about
Thank
it.
you.
Satnews123.com.
Yeah, you can check us out, satnews123.com. A company name is Galileo, spelled with a Y, but satnews123.com. I'll take you to our link. And what we have is we have an emergency alert system. It's a social media, but we're removing all the BS. We're not going to fill you with opinions. We're not going to use ad algorithms to send stuff to you that we think you like. We don't do that at all. What we do is we work with the largest emergency service providers around the world, companies that work with like Coca-Cola and the US government, and we utilize their resources, and then we put it on our in-source map where we bring like just important information, news, fires, weather, flood. We also have private chats, private features where you can talk with your family. And if the Wi-Fi ever goes out, because we work hand in hand with the satellite phone store, and this company actually was started by Tina Blanco, we connect directly 2 satellite devices. So you can download our app on your phone, and if the S hits the fan, you can just pop over to Bluetooth, whip out your satellite device, like say like a Bivy stick here or a satellite phone, and you can text and track your family offline. So we're all in the business of emergency alerts. Right now you can see FEMA's been really late to the game. People did not know in Pacific Palisades. I actually personally helped some friends get out of there when that was burning. We worked with first responders like SRP 24 that were in Lahaina when Lahaina burned, and the sirens didn't go off. The emergency services didn't go off. Nobody told anybody what was going on. And because of that, many people lost their lives and the lives of people that they cared about. So we are working diligently now to bring you all the information, the most important information and the life-saving information so you can protect yourself. Yep. So
news123.com. Excellent. Okay. Now, of course,
thank you.
We have our satellite phone here. We travel with it when we travel. I don't travel a lot, but when I do, I always take it with me. The minutes roll over. We love that. So if I don't use it for a few months and then I have a reason where I have to use it, bad cell phone area or an emergency, I don't have to worry about racking up a huge bill. The phone is free through Tina when you sign up for one of their reasonable plans at worldviewtalk.com. Tell me a little more about this, please.
Yeah, look, 1,000 phone calls and the cell tower will go down and it has to be, has to have a hard restart. You can see that floods, fires, freezing temperatures, they knock out communication. That's the first thing to go. And anybody that will tell you that has been on a battlefield or has been in an emergency scenario, information is key. Being able to receive and send that information is life-saving. Again, I keep saying life-saving, but that's the truth. And we can see just in the track record of the United States, how many disasters we've had over the last 2 years, wiped out entire cities. Some people got $700, and that's all you get. There's a lot of people that could save their life. You could talk with your friends. You could check out your daughters. Where's your family? Where's mom? When the power goes down, when the communication goes down, you're SOL, you're on your own and no one's coming to save you. There is no 911 when there's no cell tower. So, that's what we do at Satellite Phone Store. We're in the business of giving you backup generators, giving you the satellite devices, getting you bug out bags, giving you all the tools that you need to take care of your family because you are the first responder. You're going to be the first person on the scene when the things go wrong. There's not going to be a Trump or someone to call. No one's coming. It's you until the community can sort it out, and then maybe your neighbors can come to help. But I don't want to beat on the drum of things are not going great right now. But I think that just the track record through the United States, the disasters we've had. I was listening to your show in the green room back here. The wars on the horizon. I mean, all it takes is one troubled area to knock out, our electric grid, and people may not realize our electric grid's pretty fragile. There's not a lot of backups. And if you can drive by the substation, that big shiny tower, that big shiny facility surrounded by just a chain link fence that has all the wires coming into it, that's a substation that distributes power to your entire city. One guy with a shotgun. That means that, we're very vulnerable as a nation. So it's very important for you as an individual to know that first you must get right with God for yourself, and then move to your family, prepare them, teach them the things they need, get the tools that you need to take care of them, and then expand to your community. Because, I was hoping that this would be the golden age, but it seems like we're about to be in a 3-front war. It does. While, we got a lot of things going on. So anyway, I'll pass the mic back to you.
No, you're 100% right. I agree with that. I always say pray and prepare. Pray and prepare. Because if you're prepared, by the way, if you're prepared, it takes away a lot of the anxiety. Because a lot of the anxiety comes from, well, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm not going to have any real control or empowerment over this problem.
Right.
Because you're vulnerable. Right. Well, I have found that if you prepare and you have the 6 months worth of food or 2 or 3 years worth of food and enough to barter with, and you have the satellite phone and you have the solar generator like I have, the Delta Echo 400, and you have the different things that you need, like we have here, and we've been preparing for years and years, I sleep better because I've done the right thing. A prudent man, the Bible says, sees danger and takes refuge. The fool ignores it and suffers for it. So And the Bible also says, he who does not provide for his family is worse than an unbeliever. So physically, spiritually, provide for my family. And so once I've made the preparations, I've done all I can do, and then I pray and I ask for God's protection and providence, and that's all I can do. But I'll tell you, you'll have a lot more peace if you have put in preparation. Would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%. You know, the Bible says, fear not, but, you know, it also says that you have to work and you have to prepare. And I always, you know, I make this reference a lot. You know, Noah did not build his ark in the rain. He built it in the sunshine. So, you know, if we're in a golden era and the sun is supposedly shining, you know, the storm is on the horizon, you know, and we can see it. And whether or not you are a spiritual or, you know, a Christ follower, or you're just a regular person, being able to provide for your family is like the most important feeling that you have. I mean, that feeling of helplessness, you know, lose your phone for 2 hours. Anybody, I challenge anyone. Or I challenge you to wake up in the morning and go through your daily routine without electricity or without running water, and see how you feed your kids, see how you stay warm. How do you take a shower? How do you even boil your coffee? Right? I mean, there are some simple things that you can do just to make sure that, yeah, you don't have to be in fear if and when something does take place, because
100%.
I think something is happening. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. You can't prepare for everything. I get it.
Right.
But I can sure prepare for an awful lot. And he's 100% right. And you remember that we had a lady that called in to the broadcast, and I played it. And she was out on the East Coast during that weather situation with Tennessee, Eastern Tennessee, North Carolina, all that last year. She called into the program and said, I want everybody to know that I listened to Brandon House for a long time, and he was telling us for so long, prepare, have what you need, be self-sufficient. You don't want to be sitting in the dark thinking about the fact that we urged you to prepare and you didn't do it. She called in, she said, for several nights, I was sitting in the dark thinking about all his warnings and how much more I should have done to prepare. And she said, I want to urge the audience, prepare now. And they weren't expecting that natural disaster. And there's a lot of things going on that I don't think we know about what's coming. But I do sense we are definitely living in perilous times. We need to prepare. We don't want to sit around and have fear and anxiety. But there is a healthy kind of fear, like getting off of a railroad track when a train's coming, getting out of the way of a speeding bus. So versus a fear of not trusting the Lord versus, you know, the fear of imminent threat that you want to eliminate. That's not bad. That's healthy. That's that adrenaline dump we get in our body that's God-given. It gets us out of the way of danger. So have a sense of that the world is dangerous. It is perilous. Do the best you can to prepare with whatever resources you have. Try to prepare for others if you know you have family or friends around you that can't. Be thinking about the people in your community that you can offer shelter to, and they can offer you a service. You may have someone that cannot afford to buy some of the freeze-dried food and other stuff, but they're retired military. And they're very good with a gun. They're very good. They could be a good shot. God forbid your family needs it because your house is being sieged. Or you have a doctor or a nurse or a single mom with a couple kids, but she's a very good nurse or nurse practitioner. You could prepare extra and say, hey, here's the deal. I know you don't have the goods, the financial wherewithal to prepare for this. I'm preparing for you. So if something happens, you and your kids come over here, stay with us. But in return, you're going to be our nurse. Okay. So we're going to trade services. We'll provide you with food and protection. You're going to provide us with your area of expertise. Think about those kind of people in your community that you can include in your safety plan and provide shelter to, but they can also provide services to you. Would you agree with that?
1,000%. And not only would I agree with it, that's how this country was founded. That's how your grandparents lived. That's how my grandparents lived. That's how our great-great-grandparents lived. Great. I mean, keep going back. We didn't have like Google, my knee hurts, what happens? You know, we didn't have like, oh, I wonder what's going on. I better turn on Fox to get my propaganda for the day. We didn't have any of that stuff. We had, news.
No, I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I'll just slide those in.
Thank you.
But seriously, I mean, these are the generations that survived. And if we're here now, it's because your family, your ancestors were survivors. They made it. If they didn't make it, you wouldn't be here. So you're part of a long line, a long lineage of survivors, whether you know them or not. And now you're in a time faced with, I mean, the greatest conveniences ever in the history. I mean, we live like, you know, space aliens compared to how our great-great-grandfathers lived when you talk about phones and just the convenience, and even DoorDash, that was just, you know, not even a thing. But, you know, that's how our families lived. That's how our communities grew. They didn't grow with, 535 people making millions of dollars telling us how that, you know, we're bad people. They grew because we knew our neighbors. I grew wheat. You butchered. You had chickens. They had honey. This was a doctor. That was the blacksmith. And we worked together because that's what we were. We were all cogs in this machine that was these states, these towns, and they were made up of individuals. And that's, you know, I agree with you 100%. You're absolutely right. And can I just say, based on what you said earlier, you don't need a spare tire until you need it. You don't need a drink of water until you're thirsty. So you might not need a satellite phone today, but tomorrow or the next day, or whatever kicks off with Iran, and Aleppo is on fire right now. I don't know if you saw that. That just started like 10 minutes ago. So, you know.
Yeah, we reported on that today at 1 o'clock. We were showing that, in Syria. And let me point to this here at Worldview Talk, the Starlink.
Yes.
Right now, Elon Musk is providing Starlink to the folks in Iran, which is how we're getting all these images of the anti-regime protesters trying to take down this demonic regime in Iran. And they're doing it with Starlink, right? So here's your ability to get Starlink absolutely free. Sign up for one of their very reasonable plans. And you can get a Starlink portable, a portable Starlink absolutely free when you sign up for one of their plans. And you can take the Starlink on the road with you. If you have an RV, maybe you have a cabin. I know a lot of you in the audience have cabins in Minnesota, Wisconsin. You inherited these. Some of you guys have your cabin that your dad and your granddad passed down, and you inherited these. And you have a second place where you want to go, but you don't want to put in internet. You don't want to have a monthly internet bill. Well, you take the portable Starlink with you when you go up there for a week or two or whatever you do, and you can still stay in touch. So all of it's at worldviewtalk.com. The bulletproof backpack, I highly believe in these. These bulletproof backpacks are pretty big. And, you know, you got one of these with you and something goes down, you, your spouse, your kids, your grandkids are able to shield their major organs with these bulletproof backpacks. Highly recommend this stuff. You got one? I got one around here somewhere.
I got a bunch around. I carry one every day, and my kids carry them too. And then I teach them if something were to go off, because, you know, they were telling me the protocol, and the protocol is basically just go wait in the corner for someone to come and rescue you. So I told my son and some of the other kids, I gave them all bags, and I said, look, this is a Spartan shield. This is how you do it. And if you get down on your knees and you're 10 feet away, you're talking about, you know, maybe like a 10, 12-year-old or a little bit younger, a little bit older, 10 feet away, if they're down on their knees, they're completely covered by the bag, completely concealed. So, you know, you have your kids like, hey, if something cracks off, you back up with your friends, stuff it full of books, zip it up, get together as a shield. And while you're on your knees, you might as well say a prayer, because God's the only thing that's really going to save you. So, you know, there's a lot of benefits to all of this. And, you know, college campus shootings, 7-Eleven shootings, I mean, ICE shootings, sadly. I mean, we got people getting shot, you know, left and right. So let's, you know, one more layer of protection, right? One more thing. Again, like we said, you're not going to be, you may always deal with something, right? You're not going to be foolproof or bulletproof totally, no matter what you do, depending on, you know, the situation. It's just not going to happen. But what you can be is prepared. And like you said earlier, is to not live in fear.
100%.
That's what you can do.
Thank you so much for being with us tonight. Really appreciate it. And telling us about the brand new satnews123.com, right?
That's right. Satnews123.com. We have a free version. We have a $7 version, and then we have a $20 version. So it's all very affordable. Get the free satnews123.com and stay alert. Keep your family safe. Appreciate you, Brandon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All right, guys, that's our broadcast. Hey, don't forget my new book, Why I'm a Christian Zionist, is now out in the vault. You don't need to buy it if you're a vault member. It's now out. Just go to library, then go to ebooks, then look for it right there. It's about 85 pages. Biblically defending from the Bible, from even the New Testament. Look at that. Look at that. Even from the New Testament, Romans chapter 11. No, God's promises to the nation are irrevocable, to the people, to the Jews. to those Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and their descendants. These promises are irrevocable. We're going to use the Bible. I use the Bible to defend why I'm a Christian Zionist. I don't have to twist the scripture. I don't have to spiritualize it, allegorize it like the anti-Zionists do. I use the Word of God in context, Old Testament, New Testament. It's there, 85 pages. Please read it, use it, memorize some of it, get educated on this very, very important biblical topic. Okay, that's now in the vault, worldviewtube.com/vault. Roll the music. Let's call it a night. Great broadcast tonight, guys. A lot of great information. Thank you so much for being with us. And please do consider going now to worldviewfoundation.com, making a contribution, worldviewfoundation.com. All right? All right. We really appreciate you guys. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your support, either through the foundation, through your Vault membership, through our various sponsors. We keep WorldviewTube going 24/7 globally. May God save America and the people of Iran. Take care.
Economy, education, work, responsibility. What we think about these depends on our